You're listening to the Brian Kilmeade Show. So glad you're here.
Do you have a life insurance policy of $100,000 or more that you don't need? Well, don't lapse or surrender your policy. You might be sitting on a gold mine. That's right. You may be able to sell all or part of your life insurance policy to Coventry for cash, or a combination of cash and coverage with no future premiums, even a term policy. Call Coventry Direct at 800-536-4800. Or visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-536-4800. For over 25 years, we've helped thousands of people sell their policies. And we can probably help you, too. Call us today at 800-536-4800. Or visit CoventryDirect.com to find out if you're sitting on a gold mine. That's 800-536-4800. Call now.
Are you nearing retirement or already retired and wondering how long your money will last? Are you also sick of worrying about losing your life savings in the next market crash? I'm Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw. As a family business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. Let us build your own personalized structured income plan, which will show you how much income you can receive in retirement, but more importantly, it will show you how long your money will last. Stop wondering if you have enough to retire comfortably.
Call us now at 314-993-9494 for a no-cost, no-obligation retirement review. We'll teach you the strategies you won't hear from your broker or banker. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. We've been helping our clients retire with confidence for the past 37 years. Let us help you. So go online at retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Digging deeper on Capitol Hill, I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. The head of a House committee is asking the National Archives for more Hunter Biden emails.
House Oversight Committee Chair James Comer wants unredacted emails to or from then Vice President Joe Biden and his son Hunter that are related to Ukraine and Burisma. Comer has sent a letter to the National Archives and Records Administration requesting them, asking for unrestricted special access to a case record that was first made public in June. The record included 4 emails, but 2 were withheld in full, and the other 2 had redactions.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers. The letter also asks for all drafts of a 2015 speech by then Vice President Biden to the Ukrainian parliament and says the committee needs the documents to draft potential legislation on ethics laws and financial disclosures.
You can barely see Ryan. Oh, hi.
Hello. Hello. Do you guys like my shirt?
Hello.
Love it.
Whiskey Dickerson. Whiskey Dickerson. Today's YouTube live chat poll is asking, which is the top issue that affects your 2024 vote? Is it the economy, corruption, government overreach, or national defense concerns? When I first read this question, I instantly said, wow, this is a really hard one. All are great options, but you only get to vote for one. Don't combine answers in the comments. I won't start. Once again, the YouTube poll is asking, which is the top issue that affects your 2024 vote? The economy, corruption, government overreach, or national defense concerns? Drop a comment and cast a vote.
If you've ever seen the movie Cliffhanger, what I'm going to do is give you Sylvester Stallone throughout this rundown, because you're going to want to You're going to want to know. You're going to want to know what's coming up, and I promise you, it is a huge payoff. First, Hans Von Spakovsky, normal guest at this normal time, 12:25, talking about the legality of pardons and the latest with Georgia, etc. Tyrus at 1:05, our normal guest at 1:05. Again, we're getting to this cliffhanger. Now, hang on, because after Tyrus,
Wiggins America.
in between Tyrus and Hans,
Are you guys listening?
Wiggins America.
Okay, not to that.
Is also a segment that we normally do at that time. That one's not that important. Listen to what's coming up at 2:05. Listen to this. The freaking Speaker of the House is going to be on the show today. Yeah, like not State House. the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, is going to be on the show.
Dun, dun, dun,
I had heard because these guys were like,
we were working.
and I was like, what is that? And Brad's like, I can't really say. And I'm like, I'm on the show. And he's like, no, it's big enough that I can't even tell you. The Speaker of the House is on the show. Be here at 2:05. That's going to be nuts. I just couldn't believe it.
He's going to get up with us at 2:15.
2:15.
But if he calls in early, we're going to take him early.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Can we, yeah, well.
Congressman Bost is going to be with him as well.
Yes.
He's in town with Congressman Bost in that district. So that's the 12th district.
Then right after that,
Trisha
is going to come in
We're gonna
and
go,
do, Annie, are you okay?
The Speaker of the station.
Speaker of the station, Trisha.
Oh, man. This is going to be crazy. I'm so excited. Thank you for being here early. Hopefully you are rewarded by hearing these great things because we're glad that you're here. Once again,
be rewarded. They just need to be here to be rewarded.
Yes,
So
but I
stick
mean,
around.
Reward them with telling them the time we're going to give away Cardinals tickets.
I was gonna say yeah.
Yeah.
should I just pick right now?
Yeah, you pick.
Okay, I pick 143.
So what that means is the break in between the
Yes.
second segment and the third segment.
Yes. So roughly
So around the 145.
140, 145, right around there.
This is a big scoop.
That's
Cardinals
what.
tickets for Friday.
That's what we're gonna do. So, thanks for being here early. You get all the exclusives, and now you know. Back to Hannah.
Cardinals tickets giveaway. What number? 9?
We
Yeah.
We don't know yet. You have to wait and see.
He'll make something up.
Yeah.
We'll do it in
depends
honor
on
of
how
him.
I like
Maybe
you
today
at the
will
moment.
be 21.
No!
Yeah. Yeah. If I'm like, not really loving what
Hey,
Hannah's
we
doing.
could do it in honor of me.
Here's what we'll do. Here's what we'll do. We will take your suggestions as to which caller number we should pick, and then, but you have to give us a really good reason as to why it's that caller. And then whatever reason we think is the best reason for a particular number. And here's the deal. Hannah has to answer that many phone calls.
Guys.
That's what's fun about it.
Yeah.
And in like increments of 5. She can't get ahead. She's got to just go 1, 2, 3, 4,
Well,
5.
of course.
And then wait for it to repopulate.
One time you guys did a stupid number. And
It was great.
It took me forever.
But
Yeah.
seriously, we'll take listener suggestions on the YouTube page.
And tell us why.
But we need good reasons
Yeah.
as to why we pick a specific number, and then we'll go with a listener suggestion.
Yeah.
And Ryan gets to pick it.
And once again, this is all up to you. Thank you for being here early. These are the exclusives. You get to participate in these games. Most people won't even know what's
Are you
going on.
messing up words and then trying to make them happen? Or
No,
are you
exclusive.
just into,
That's
like,
a TMZ thing. You wouldn't understand.
Correct.
Right?
You would?
It's very young, right?
I don't know if Hannah picked up yesterday on what kind of friends you said that the two of you are.
What did I say?
Yeah, what did you say?
I don't remember. What did I say?
What?
Yeah.
I'll tell you off the air.
Oh.
Go back and listen to yesterday's show.
I'm curious.
Yeah, me too.
It's a
All right.
cliffhanger. I told you it'd be cliffhangers.
Let's get to the show.
Big show.
BritBox, the best of British telly. Stream brilliant series you can only find on BritBox. Unlock acclaimed favourites like Vera and Stonehouse, plus the upcoming original drama Archie, the story of Cary Grant. Start a free trial at BritBox.com.
This is Kim St. Ange with the Mark Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk. I can see clearly now thanks to doctors Birdie and Malhotra with Ophthalmology Associates, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
The president made some dubious claims. He used his signature whispering tone to claim inflation is down and going lower. Has he seen gas and diesel prices recently? Interest rates are moving up again, 7% mortgages, and that's got the housing market stalled. Youngsters kept out. The average age of a home buyer these days is 36, the highest in years. To deal with inflation, consumers now dipping into using their credit cards. They've racked up $1 trillion worth of credit card debt. Hardship withdrawals from 401ks rising rapidly. In short, 1 year of inflation reduction has not done much for middle America.
I would listen to Stuart Varney give any news report, and it would sound to me like a bedtime story. I wish when he said gas and diesel, he would have said petrol.
Yes, me too.
Yeah?
Yeah. They're going up faster than a lift.
Everything he said there sounds terrible, but I enjoyed it.
I did too. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I would listen to him read Leviticus and be like, oh, yeah.
This is so peaceful. And
this is how the British
descriptive.
British were able to expand their empire because they simply just asked, may we have your country?
Well,
yes.
You asked so politely.
Oh. Welcome to the Annie Frey Show. Happy Thursday. It is Thursday on the Annie Frey Show means a couple of things. It means Hans Von Spakovsky in about 15 minutes from now. And one of the first things I'm going to ask Hans about today is what is the possibility, or even is it a possibility, that Donald Trump could himself find his way out of trouble in Georgia? Should he become the president? Should he, rub elbows and make friends with Brian Kemp? Good luck. I always want to call him Sean Kemp.
I get it. Yeah.
Which is where I come from, the 90s NBA, and then it stopped. Can I, interjection
I always want to call
here.
him John Stockton.
Yeah.
Like, that's not the governor of Georgia.
This is embarrassing. It was on my summer vacation in Florida a few weeks ago where I realized why the Orlando Magic are the Orlando Magic.
No.
Yeah, it's pretty dumb.
Oh, man.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is dumb.
It's embarrassing.
Yeah.
It's amazing that I'm even here on the air.
No, that's not dumb for you. That's shame on them.
Oh. So we've got Hans coming up in about 10, 12 minutes from now. And I'm going to ask him about that. But I'm also looking for other people's questions as you come through on the Annie Frey YouTube live chat. I like to relay things no matter what side of the aisle that you come from, because, for instance, the fake electors. Have I talked to Hans about fake electors yet? I've talked to to Andy McCarthy about fake electors, and he did a really good job of explaining it.
You may have talked to him at the Heritage event about it, but I don't know that we've talked to him on the show.
I think I'm going to ask him about it, because that's more of the January 6th thing, but at the same time, doesn't the Georgia lawsuit involve his cohorts, his conspirators, and electors in Georgia?
Yeah, it involves a whole lot of people.
What percentage of the people out there, outside this building right now, who are going to KFC or Chris's Pancakes, what percentage of them know what a slate of electors is?
I'll walk down there and record and ask the question, and I guarantee somebody's going to go, oh, I can't believe they indicted Jenna Ellis. Now give me my chicken strips.
Any of them? If you asked 100 people, random.
Slates of electors? Is that what you were
Yeah, a slate of electors. Out of 100 people, how many of them are going to be able to explain, not even what
just
that is?
What they are? I'd say maybe 5 out of 100.
What do you think, Brad?
Oh, I don't even think 5.
I don't.
He's going to say 4.
2.
$4. $1.
Yeah.
$1. It's very confusing. And the more confusing it gets with each indictment, it evolves exponentially. So it turns into a situation where people just kind of sit back in their chair. They know what they know about Donald Trump. And the truth is that what they know about Donald Trump isn't necessarily even accurate because they've never covered him fairly. We'll ask Hans about that at 12:25. At 1 o'clock, I'm going to talk to Tyrus, and Tyrus is a dad, and I love talking to him about things a little bit outside of the normal political mainstream top-line issues. But there are a lot of instances across the country right now where the government is creeping its fingers into your personal life and telling you how you will and won't parent your child. It's very disconcerting. I've said this before, the capital O, capital K, our kids comments that come from the Democrats on a regular basis make my skin crawl. And that is gaining steam on the left. The Democrats that are in power
can gain a lot more power if they get a lot more access to our children. I understand the irony of my statement. And then at 2:15 on the show, very excited to welcome the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, is going to be on with us.
I have been on this show longer than anybody, including you.
It was so ironic when I applied for the job.
It was weird. Like, man, the Andy Fry show. You're perfect for
We've
this.
been needing one.
But 4 years, and I think this is the most shocked I have ever been upon getting a show sheet, because you guys did not tell me that you were working on this. You're always working on things. You're always working on things because we do 3 hours a day, 5 days a week, so you're always working. So I know that you're always doing this stuff. But when I see a show sheet with the Speaker of the House on it,
careful.
I know.
He's going to listen and go, never mind, this is filthy.
I'm like,
especially if you listened yesterday.
Oh, man, when you said you were working on a big guest, you meant a big guest. I think that might be the biggest guest that I've ever seen on the show.
Yeah, you should see the guests that we're trying to get that never come on.
Oh, I get it.
Big.
I get it.
Yeah, we were very grateful that the Speaker is in the area, and he is with Congressman Bost, and we have a good relationship with Congressman Bost, and they decided to come do our show. So that's great. So he's going to call in at 2:15. Congressman Bost will be with him as well. He's in the 12th district on the Illinois side. Congressman Bost would be Brad's representative, correct?
Exactly, yeah.
He does like donuts better than bagels.
That's all right. That's all right. He got me bagels, so he's not anti-bagel. He just
because he called
prefers
you out
donuts.
and said that bagel Democrats. He called you a Democrat because
Yeah.
you said you like bagels.
Yeah,
more.
at a Republican dinner.
It's a Reagan Day dinner.
Man.
He did it in the name of Reagan.
I think I heard about that story, but I wasn't there.
He was on the show the day that I emceed that event, and Congressman Bost was the speaker at that event, and that event was the day of the great "What's better, bagels or donuts?" debate, and he was all in on donuts. And then from the podium that night, Congressman Bost kind of joked about it, and I pointed at Brad and I go, "Well, he's a bagel guy," and he goes, "Well, that's because he's a Democrat," or something like that. It was like, whoa, shots fired. And then he sent Brad bagels the next day.
I remember that because I
Those
ate
are
some.
awesome. I still got
So
that
you got bagels
card.
out of it. You
Yep.
still have the bagels?
I still have the card. I ate the bagels. Kidding me?
I think it's cool that Congressman Bost is Brad's representative, because Kevin McCarthy is my Speaker of the U.S. House.
Yeah.
So we'll both be represented.
I'm looking.
Represented.
Yeah. You work on your words.
I will.
By the end of the show, and it's a really big packed show. Trisha's going to be in here for Annie, Are You Okay at 2:25. I want to know what Speaker McCarthy plans to do to expand the majority. I was going to do the poll today. I was going to say grade the House, and I decided not to. I shifted it over because I want to use your response in this poll and comments if you so choose to come to the Annie Fry YouTube channel, vote in the poll, leave a comment as to why you voted the way you did. Which is the top issue that affects your 2024 vote, that most affects your 2024 vote? Is it the economy, corruption, government overreach, or national defense concerns? And when I was putting these four options together, because I didn't want to do an other today, because you could say, oh, it's the border, and I'm saying that's a national defense concern. You could say the Justice Department, and I would say that's corruption. So there are a lot of things, if whatever your key issue is that affects you the most in your 2024 vote and is going to persuade you to pull the lever for a specific person in the primary or eventually the general, I want to know where you are on these issues. It's very difficult to pick from these.
Yeah, as I look at them, I'm voting on all of them, but we have to pick one as the most important. Man, it's some of the stuff, it's amazing that within the last few years how much it has shifted for me. Because in 2016, I probably would have said economy. But what's happened since then has changed the dynamic so much that now I'm either corruption or government overreach, probably.
Zelda on the Annie Fry YouTube channel has already commented and said the corruption is the root cause of all the others. And that's maybe a pretty good point. I do think it matters if you're somebody who is looking to manage the direction of the House of the people. If you are somebody who is running for president of the United States, you need to know what these key issues are. And if the key issue for American voters in 2024 is corruption, you're probably going to go in a specific direction in the primary for your Republican candidates. And if you if your key issue is, just get back to talking about economic policy. Inflation is out of control. The government is trying to, work its way into every single decision and try to manipulate things too much so the economy reacts. And then when it reacts, they got to do something to make it react the other way. We just need to focus on the economy. That might make you approach your vote in a different way. So I'd really love your feedback on this. The national defense concerns, that to me is everything from Ukraine, which could be corruption, Russia, China, the border, everything that is affecting this country based on the southern border and its porous nature. And government overreach, man, that's social issues. That's what I'm going to talk to Tyrus about at 1:05. It's the idea that the government is saying, if your 5-year-old says in a classroom that I'm not a boy, I'm a girl, we're going to let you know when that's your business, mom and dad. Man, I was just thinking, listening to some of the news on the way into work today, some of the reports that are coming out of New Jersey, what the governor there has stepped in and involved himself in, just the gravitas of some of these elected officials and how they feel entitled to supersede your position as a parent in your home. They're almost aghast that you would suggest otherwise. It kind of makes me ragey. It makes me really mad. I try to, on a daily basis, approach all of these stories, the indictments and, policy questions and concerns and worries about what's going on in the southern border. I try to approach these subjects for you as a listener with the most level-headed approach that I can, because sensationalism in this business is everywhere. And I'm just trying to not do that. I want you to be able to listen to this show, feel like you're informed, and not feel like you have to take a Xanax by the time you get done because we've raged the whole time. The whole idea of government coming in and inserting itself between my relationship with my child, I almost don't talk about it much at all in this show because I feel like it makes me almost become irrational with anger. Do you know what I'm saying?
I do. I think what makes me the maddest in a representative democracy is that these people who vote for these things assume that that's what you want. And if you don't want it, you're not saying anything loud enough for them to hear it. They are getting away with this stuff probably more than they should because people aren't loud enough about it.
The one thing that isn't on this list specifically, which other times that we have done a poll very similar to this, is Second Amendment issues. And I think that if that's your biggest issue, it's probably government overreach. Mm-hmm. But when I was driving in thinking about these options, I thought, wow, we have not talked, the gun issue has not been front and center for a while. And usually when I have that thought, we're about a week out from the gun issue becoming a big issue again. And so I will ask you to join me in saying a prayer that that's not accurate. That issue comes and goes, and it knocks everything off the table, becomes front and center, something unimaginably tragic happens, and then we're like, never again, until we are like, oh gosh, Trump indictment number 5. Clear that table off again. So go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel and let us know what your vote is. We'll cover this throughout the course of the show. We'll feature some of your responses. Hans Von Spakovsky, when we come back on the show, Wiggins America, I didn't see. Did you send it in Twitter today?
I did.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I was on my computer more than my phone, so.
You want to preview just itty bitty? What's going to happen at 12:45?
Stuff that makes you go, what? Stories that may have fallen through the cracks a little bit that you're going to be a little bit shocked to hear.
All right. Well, Hans Von Spakovsky, when we come back, Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, on the Annie Frey Show at 2:15. Don't go away.
See the thorn twist in your side. I'll wait.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
On a bed of nails, she makes me wait. And I wait without you. With or without you.
through the storm.
Jen Teskey with Remax Alliance is the captain you need to get your house sold. She is going to lead you, along with her team, into making sure that you know exactly what to spend your money on to fix it up, what not to spend your money on to fix it up for sellers in this crazy market right now. I have heard so many people talking about real estate right now. A friend of ours was going to list their house for 200 and something, and the people who are selling it, like, there's no way that this house is going to go for that. And the realtor said, no, we're going to list it at this. And I'm glad I'm selling this house and you aren't, because I believe in this list price. And they ended up doing great. When you work with Jen Teskey, you understand that she knows the market and she's going to get you that top dollar. She is really, really good at communication from the place where she is with the knowledge she has. Sometimes there's some tough love conversations that need to take place in a real estate sale. She can have those conversations in a way that is going to make you really appreciate her, and you're going to want to use her the next time you have to go through a real estate transaction. 15 plus years of experience helping families just like you with selling and buying of homes on the Illinois side of the river. Reach out to Jen Teskey at 618-541-1010. 618-541-1010. JenTeskeyHomes.com.
A commercial I set out for, and I wish I would have done this years ago, because I mean the trade, we're so done in trades because we're just getting brutalized by the working class. But if you want great service as quick as we can get to you, like we're busy, and reasonable prices, if you call me, I would not waste your time. You will get equipment that will heat and cool your home. If you're looking for a furnace or air conditioner, it broke down, or you just need service, call me. Bart Inman. Again, it's Bart Inman, and with one really easy number, Missouri and Illinois. There's only one number for Missouri and Illinois. It's 314-293-2600, or the internet. Well, that was a large breath. The internet. BartInman.com. That's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Join us at Odyssey as we all do our one thing. Together, millions of things for our planet. Some summer items should not be mixed in with your curbside recycling. Items like garden hoses, plastic planters, pool toys, squirt guns, and lawn chairs are generally not recyclable and are best donated to charity. If you have a question as to whether an item can be recycled, look at the recycling triangle and number, usually on the bottom of the product. When we each share our one thing, it becomes 100 things, 1,000 things, 1,000,000 things for our planet. What's your one thing?
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
Scott, they're here. Who's here? Our newest delivery of carpet tile, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tiles, sheet vinyl, ceramic, hardwood, and laminate.
Of course, and we're fully stocked at both of our locations, 7301 North Lindbergh Boulevard in Hazelwood, Missouri, and 1851 West US Highway 50 in O'Fallon, Illinois.
Open 7 days a week.
Free financing for qualified purchasers. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is celebrating 54 years of residential and commercial service, maintenance, and installation of heating and cooling systems. Get in your comfort zone. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
97.1 FM Talk. You're here because everybody needs an oasis. St. Louis's home for conservative talk. 97.1 FM Talk.
My house in Budapest.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
My acres of land I've achieved. It may be hard for you to stop and believe, but for you, I'd leave it all.
There are no rules when it comes to Donald Trump. What's happening in Georgia is criminalizing contesting an election. Stacey Abrams went on television night after night saying she was cheated, and nothing happened to her.
Yep, that's absolutely the case. And when we are watching indictment number 4 come down on Donald Trump, we are asking ourselves once again, is there any legitimacy to these concerns, legal concerns, these indictments, these criminal charges that have been levied against the former president? Hans Von Spakovsky joins us right now, senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, a friend of our show. Hans, welcome back. It's good to have you here. Another indictment, another day.
Yeah, and look, I thought the federal indictment was a spurious indictment in which the federal special counsel was stretching laws to cover perfectly legal activity. This state prosecution, county prosecution, really in Atlanta, is even worse. I just couldn't believe the things I was reading when I read through the 100-page indictment. And for your listeners, I did it so they wouldn't have to.
Yeah, that's good. So what are your takeaways from the specificity of this indictment? Because it is a lot of pages. It's also a lot of people.
It is. 18 co-defendants, many of them lawyers who are being criminally indicted for doing what lawyers, actually under the professional rules of conduct, are supposed to do, which is vigorously represent their clients. And for that, they're being criminally prosecuted. Look, what this case claims is that Donald Trump basically was Tony Soprano and that he violated the state RICO law. That stands for Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. That's a law that's used to go after mob operations, dangerous drug cartels, and it is outrageous that this local prosecutor is trying to use it to go after the former president of the United States and all of these lawyers who were doing work for him. The whole problem with it is that if you read the indictment, she goes through and she lists all these acts that she claims were illegal acts in furtherance of this criminal conspiracy. And the things she lists are all protected by the First Amendment. I mean, the very first act she lists is a nationally televised speech that Donald Trump gave in which he basically said, hey, I actually won the 2020 election. She lists tweets sent out by Trump, like one of them, if you could believe this, a supposedly illegal act was him tweeting out saying, hey, I'm watching the televised coverage of the public hearings of the Georgia legislature when they were taking a look at what had happened in the election. Amazing. That's his entire tweet. And telling people he was watching public hearings was an illegal act, according to Fani Willis. That is how nutty this entire thing is. And look, it's not just the First Amendment, free speech, that protects what Donald Trump did. It's the other part of the First Amendment. You know, one of the most overlooked provisions of the First Amendment is the one that says all citizens have a right to petition the government for redress of grievances. What that means is you have a right to talk to government officials, to complain to government officials, to try to ask and persuade them to take action. And yet she says, Fani Willis, that all the actions taken by Donald Trump and, again, his allies to try to persuade state legislators and others to investigate the 2020 election, to declare that it was stolen. She says that's all illegal. Well, it's not. It's all protected by the First Amendment. And the key thing for people to keep in mind is, look, it doesn't matter if the claims that Donald Trump were making were true or not. It doesn't matter. I have a right to stand up and say anything I want to about the 2020 election, even if what I'm saying is totally wrong. That is not a criminal violation of the law.
Hans, even if you know it to be wrong, is it still your right to speak it?
Yes. Yeah, it is. I mean, look, if knowing that what you were saying was wrong was a crime, then probably almost every single member of Congress would be in federal prison, okay? I mean, you have a right to speak, and whether you're proven wrong later, it just doesn't matter.
I want to ask you, Hans, about this is deep election stuff, and you've written a book about our election system, and I encourage people to check it out. It's called Our Broken Elections. But we've talked about electors, slates of electors. Some people call them fake electors. Some people, try to key in on that as the epicenter of how Donald Trump was calculating to steal the election. Can you explain to me, very basically, what are they talking about when we're speaking of slates of electors, fake electors, and what the Donald Trump role is in this so that people understand the discussion that's happening out there in the media a little bit better?
Well, remember, we have an electoral college system. So when you go in to vote on election day, even though you're voting for one presidential candidate or the other, what you're actually voting for is a slate of electors, individuals who have pledged that they will vote for either candidate. And what Donald Trump did and what he's accused of having done illegally is in a number of states, they set up and asked people to be a set of contingent electors. And the idea was, when they were talking to state legislators, was saying to them, look, if you all decide the election was stolen in your state, and if you certify me, Donald Trump, as the winner, here is an alternative slate of electors, Trump electors, whose votes you can certify. That didn't happen. No state decided to, change the results. None of these alternative slates of electors were certified or sent to Congress. So again,
was it criminal for Trump to create those alternative slates?
No, it wasn't. And I'll tell you I'll give you one very specific example of just how outrageous this is. Look, one of the people named as a co-defendant is a guy named David Schaefer. I know David. He used to be a state senator in Georgia, and he was the head of the Georgia GOP in 2020, and he helped set up a slate of alternative electors. Well, under state law, who do you think is given the power under Georgia state law to name the individuals who will be the electors?
Who's that?
It's the state chairs of each political party. So he's being criminally prosecuted for doing something that he was entitled to do under state law.
So, I mean, the narrative around the electors, the slates of electors, implies that Donald Trump was manifesting something incredibly devious to, in the middle of the night, try to steal this election from the specific states and then ultimately the American people as a whole. How do we get from what you just said to where the American people are being influenced with this idea, this devious idea of Donald Trump's? Did he create this idea? Is he the first one to try this?
No. In fact, in 1960, a slate of electors from Hawaii, they were Kennedy electors, ended up getting sent to Congress and counted instead of the Nixon slate of electors who had been certified by the governor as the winners in the state. So it's not like this is the first time. In 2000, a member of Congress tried to persuade Al Gore to do exactly the same thing, to set up a contingent alternative slate of electors if the courts determined that he had won the election, so they'd be ready to go. That didn't happen, but the point is none of that is illegal. And look, if talking about an election being stolen was a criminal conspiracy, then why hasn't Fannie Willis, the DA, indicted Stacey Abrams? Stacey Abrams is the twice losing Democratic candidate for governor in Georgia, and she's been claiming that those elections were stolen from her for years.
Yeah, to this day. She's never stepped off that. I have a comment here from a listener. We're speaking with Hans Von Spakovsky, who is a senior legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation, a former DOJ lawyer and a former FEC commissioner. He says 91 felonies. Trump's going to be convicted on some of these for sure. You think he's right?
Well, yeah, and the reason for it has nothing to do with the facts of the law. Okay. The problem is that in all three of the indictments, the one in Manhattan, the federal one in the District of Columbia, and now this one in Fulton County, those are all overwhelmingly Democratic jurisdictions in which people just hate Donald Trump. And in Fulton County, for instance, Georgia, and I know that county very well because not only am I licensed to practice law in Georgia, but I used to be a county election official in Fulton County. It is an overwhelmingly Democratic jurisdiction, and I know Fani Willis is counting on the fact that a jury will find Donald Trump and these defendants guilty because they're Republicans. It is regardless of what the facts of the law are in the case.
So if, to the 91 felonies, if he's going to be found guilty, Hans, what happens next?
Well, he's going to, the key out to this will be the appeal. And I'll give you the best example of this. Look, Jack Smith, the special DOJ counsel who filed a federal indictment against Donald Trump, where he's stretching the law far outside of what it covers. This is the same lawyer who tried to do the same thing a decade ago against Robert McDonnell. Robert McDonnell was then the Republican governor of Virginia. Smith went after him for supposed corruption and tried to use this federal law against him, got convictions. McDonnell appealed it all the way to the U.S. Supreme Court, and the U.S. Supreme Court ruled 9-0, unanimously, the liberals agreeing with the conservatives that Jack Smith had basically twisted federal law to cover something that it just wasn't covered, and they threw out the convictions. And I'm afraid that's going to be the same path that Donald Trump is probably going to have to take.
And if that is the path that this goes, we do have some, guilty convictions over this whole chapter book of indictments for the president. What is the timeline on that? And Hans, in your opinion, how does it affect Donald Trump's ability to run in an election, in a primary, in a general? And if that timeline extends past November of 2024, even January of 2025, his ability to be the president of the United States should he win?
Boy, I tell you, Fani Willis, the Fulton County DA, went to court, I think yesterday, and asked for a March 6th trial date. That's a crazy date to expect when she not only indicted Donald Trump, but 18 co-defendants, and is trying to tell the court that they should all be tried at the same time. There is no way you could, by March 6th, complete all the prior work that has to be done to have a trial. So are these trials going to occur during primary season next year? Very well may be, but then I think that's actually the intent of all three of the prosecutors involved in these cases. One thing to keep in mind, conviction for a crime does not prevent you from being president.
Yeah. We were talking on the air yesterday about the fact that maybe we could make a deal with the left and say, we'll put him in jail, but he has to be president when he's in jail. Would this be the thing that brings everybody together? It just seems absurd. Last question before we go. We're speaking with Hans Von Spakovsky right now, specific to the Georgia case. Correct me here where I'm wrong, because I'm sure I'm wrong all over the place. The first three indictments, if he became president of the United States, would he be able to pardon himself? The fourth indictment in Georgia seems like that might not be the case, should he be found guilty.
Well, my understanding of that provision of the U.S. Constitution is that the president's pardon power only extends to federal prosecutions and not state prosecutions. Some experts disagree with that, but I think that's the case.
Uncharted constitutional waters. What a time to be alive. Hans, we're so grateful that you're here to navigate it with us. Thank you for your time today.
Sure. Thanks for having me.
Of course. Hans Von Spakovsky, Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, a former FEC Commissioner, DOJ lawyer, and author of a must-read book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. You can get it right now. Go tweet him, at _HVonSpakovsky. I don't even know if he reads his Twitter, but you should tweet him so that when he goes there, it's just Annie Frey Show listeners going, you're a pretty cool dude, Hans, because I'm really grateful for his expertise. He is such the right guy at the right time. Quick break. When we come back, Ryan Wiggins in studio to talk about stories that make you go, what? He'll have that for us in here. And a reminder, coming up at 2:15 today on the Annie Frey Show, the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, joins us. Pretty excited about that. Don't go away.
Baby, if you owe me, then all of this.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
The list goes on. If you just say the words, I'll up and run onto you. Ooh, I divido. Over you. Ooh, I divido.
The Retirement Advisory Group, Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw. These are the people you need in your corner when you are looking to retire. If you're 59 and a half or older, you are the type of customer client that they work with. And if you're listening to 97.1 and the Annie Frey Show, you are really the type of client that they work with. They've become part of the 97.1 family. And when you reach out to them at 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494. You can set up an appointment to sit down and talk to them. That costs you literally nothing. You can sit and use your own brain cells that you exercise on a given day to make a decision as to what their plan can do for you. And they will make a great case as to how they can help you shift from that position of saving for retirement to, you know what, I'd like to live that retirement here very shortly. They are the people to help you go through that process. Let the Retirement Advisor Group build your own personalized structured income plan by calling 314-993-9494. Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw waiting for your phone call. Online at retirementkey.com.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com. Babbel.com.
You want to retire soon, but everyone keeps telling you to wait until you're 65. After all, that's the age that you qualify for Medicare and you're close to full retirement age. I'm Marvin Mitchell, president of Compass Retirement Solutions. In my new book, Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65, I discuss proper planning to help make early retirement possible. When to take Social Security, what to do with your 401k, health care, how to maximize retirement income, and much more. Get a complimentary copy of Retire Early by calling 1-800-743-8510. That's 1-800-743-8510. Can you retire early? Call 1-800-743-8510 for your copy of Retire Early, The 9 Critical Decisions When Retiring Before 65.
Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Compass Retirement Solutions is not affiliated with the U.S. government or any governmental agency.
Just a reminder that the Speaker of the House is going to be on the show just after 2 o'clock. Be here at 2:05, actually just a little bit after 2:05 to listen to Speaker Kevin McCarthy on the Annie Frey Show. And giving away tickets to the Cardinals for tomorrow night's game at about 1:40 or 1:45. So be here for that as well. The time right now is 12:47. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
Banking partner of St. Louis City SC, which means Together Credit Union is the only place to find the official City SC debit card, which comes with special perks. There's no cost for the City SC debit card, so don't wait and sign up today online at togethercu.org. Together Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
You could be watching this right now. Tune into the Annie Fry Show live stream. YouTube, Facebook, Rumble, Twitter. You know what? Just type in Annie Fry Show live stream. This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
This is what plays in your head when you're just walking around the office.
This is what plays in my head 24/7.
You're as pleasant as the morning and refreshing as the rain. Isn't it a pity that you're such a scatter?
People talk to me.
Listen to it.
It's so delightful when you talk, it's so insane. Still it's charming chatter, scatterbrain. I know I'll end up apoplectic, but there's nothing I can do. It's just the same as being in a hurricane. And though my life will be too hectic, I'm so much in love with you. Nothing else can matter, you're my darling scatterbrain.
This whole song is like, wow, I love you.
I love you.
But you're pretty dumb.
Yeah.
Again, I'm listening to 40s Junction on Sirius, and I'm going, Grandma, Grandpa, you guys were hardcore. And I did not know this about you until I dedicated some time to the fine art of 40s music.
Yeah. What that sounds like is somebody walking around in a fairyland, tiptoeing through the tulips, and that's what's going on in their head, and then you cut to them actually walking down like a main street. Cars almost hitting them.
Horns honking.
Yeah.
Fanning off into the distance.
Yep.
Good segue into Wiggins America. Let's
Wiggins!
go.
Oh! Wiggins!
Completely unrelated.
Completely unrelated. I love you, even though you're stupid.
Which is like a statement that's like, I should get some credit here.
Yeah, I don't know which
Look at how much
direction
patience I have for you.
Look at how great I am. Look how dumb you are and how great I am for having you
Yeah,
here.
right now while you're hanging out with us, Google the lyrics to the song Scatterbrain.
These are stories that make you go,
what?
This one coming from Brazil, the Barbie marketing machine keeps on cooking up new collabs. Hannah, does that word work? Collabs?
She's not in here.
In the run-up to the Blockbuster's July 21 release, consumers have been inundated by Barbie merch, but in Brazil, they've taken it to a new level at Burger King. They have unveiled a Barbie-themed meal. The BK Barbie combo features a cheeseburger topped with bacon bits and bright pink slime all over it that they say has a smoky flavor, but they won't say exactly what it is. You can also get a pink vanilla milkshake or a strawberry Nesquik powder mixed in, whatever. Once the straw is put into the dessert, Burger King tops it off with a pink frosted donut on top as well. You guys down with all of the pink slime on your food?
No.
No bueno.
Gross.
Okay.
Number 2. The Bush heir, which is Billy Bush, of course, is talking about how he wants to buy back Bud Light to make it great again. He was appearing. Yeah, I know.
I have a plan, Bud Light. You Anheuser-Busch, you listen to me.
Can you share your plan again really quick?
Yeah, I'd be happy to.
Okay, go
Do you want
ahead.
to do the story?
Well, I want to hear your plan first.
Kill the brand. It's dead. Every news story that comes out about Bud Light right now is a negative one. And I know people in my life who are conservatives who have like kind of participated in it, but if they go to a party and there's Bud Light there, they drink Bud Light, and it's not a thing anymore for those people. It's not for everybody. The point has been made.
Mm-hmm.
I think what Anheuser-Busch needs to do is to acknowledge it with real action. And what I think that they should do from a marketing standpoint, this is not really a philosophical or ideological perspective. Run a marketing campaign, black screen, Bud Light can, whatever year it was created to 2023. Take it off the shelves. And then come back for the Super Bowl in the biggest possible way that you can with classic Bud Light commercials, a new spin on the way that Bud Light became successful. And my opinion is if if Anheuser-Busch is out there, and they have said so many things, for the record, I get nothing from Anheuser-Busch. I get nothing from Bud Light. I don't really even drink beer. So this is just a thought in my head. The point of boycotts and boycotts need to be to send the message. Boy, the message has been sent. It would be a huge win for everybody, including the people who initially participated in the boycott, to have Bud Light come back and be America's beer and not put itself in the midst of some sort of major cultural tug of war on either side. Figure out what all Americans can agree on, find the thing, and rebuild your brand on it. And in my opinion, Americans should be looking for an opportunity to say yes. And I think that a little bit of time to get the news stories out, the headlines are always, Bud Light sales down 17% again, and this, that, and the other thing. Like, take the ball out of the game for the opposition, and then spend the next couple of months structuring a real, honest plan that says, all right, we've heard you, and we understand, and we're going to do better.
Well, here's the thing, is that Billy Bush, heir to the throne, of course, says, I know Anheuser-Busch InBev just sold off 8 brands, and if they ever decide to sell the Bud Light brand, they could sell it to me. I'd sure as heck try to pull some people together and buy that brand because I think we can make Bud Light great again.
Oh.
Yeah. He lives in St. Louis, from St. Louis. He's seems like he's probably conservative. Maybe listening right now.
Hi, Billy.
Listen to what Annie just said.
I mean, I'll ask the two of you, quick straw poll of 2 people.
What if we disagree?
Do you then time
wash.
stops? Do you want Bud Light to die?
No, the exact opposite.
Right?
I like Bud Light.
Same. I think that I think it's horrible that something woke can kill something that was something so American, and I don't want that. I want the company to come out. I want Bud Light to come out of it.
Yeah.
They can't have it. This is ours. We're not going to kill our own.
This is like telling a 3-day story and stopping it on day 2, which is the least religious I could make that. Because I'm not comparing the two.
I did not catch that.
But that's why I want to separate them. But I'm saying if that story ended on day 2, it wouldn't be a great story.
Yeah. Good stuff. So he's advocating that, hey, you know what? There is a buyer right here if you want to sell your brands.
Did you see Dave Portnoy bought Barstool back for $1?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, do that.
Yeah, do that. They'd just be creating another competitor for
Billy
themselves,
Bush, who's listening right now, is like, yeah, sell it to me for $1.
He's like, yes, I would do that.
I'll allow it.
All right, last but not least, experts say that once you hit this credit score, there is no benefit to scoring higher. It's just bragging rights. Any guesses as to what that credit score is?
730.
648.
Annie wins closest to the score. It's actually the mid 700s. They say that once your credit score is between 740 and 760, you're probably already getting just about all the favorable terms that you could possibly get. And so moving above that is really just like saying, look how good I am.
Yeah, but
paying
which
my
one,
bills.
At what level is it that you start paying extra because the Biden administration decided you should?
The level when you vote Democrat.
Brad, I don't. I get so infuriated at credit score communism that I almost was hoping nobody would bring that up because now I'm just mad about it again. I don't know the exact score, but it is robbing from the rich to pay for the. It's not even the rich because you might not have any money and have a good credit score. All right,
Brad,
all right.
This is on you.
All right.
Let's take a quick break. Tyrus on the Annie Frey Show when we come back. Speaker Kevin McCarthy at 2:15.
Hey, honey, I'm home.
Bob, I just hung up with Joe. It's the 4th time he's called this week. He says he's worried because for the first time in 12 years, you didn't buy my anniversary jewelry from him.
You didn't tell him, did you?
No, I didn't tell him how we made the switch to Diamonds Direct and how much I love my new diamond ring or these incredible diamond stud earrings you got me either.
Bob's gonna go nuts when he finds out. But I can't believe how all these things he used to say about Diamonds Direct just aren't true. And the prices are a lot better than his.
Yeah, and what I love is the free service at Diamonds Direct. I can get my jewelry cleaned anytime, and everyone there is like family.
Are you getting all you deserve from your jeweler? You might be surprised. Maybe it's time to make the switch to Diamonds Direct for guaranteed better value, selection, service, and quality.
If he comes up on the caller ID, just don't answer it.
All right, but we can't keep dodging him. You know we're going to see him at the family reunion.
Yeah, I know.
Diamonds Direct. No middleman, no pricing games, no compromises. Get details and showroom directions at diamondsdirect.com.
If you like to work with a local company that gives back to the community, Window World is the preferred window of your St. Louis Blues. Mark Cox here from my friends out at Window World. What a great product. A lifetime warranty. It covers all the parts, the glass breakage, the labor. You've heard me say that before. And they've been around for over 20 years. They have improved the look and the efficiency of over 70,000 homes in the greater St. Louis area. They have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. That's hard to get, right? And that's important. They're ranked number one in the number of windows sold in the country by Qualified Remodeler magazine. Call them for a free estimate. Let them show you why they say simply the best for less. New doors, new windows. With Window World, they're now offering 18 months, same as cash financing with approved credit. 314-993-1800. That's 314-993-1800. Or you can go online anytime to windowworld.com.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. This Saturday night at the Family Arena. Starring the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gang, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills. Tickets are on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
One of Canada's finest exports. Here comes April Wine. Live. Saturday, September 16th at the Family Arena. Special guest, Aldo Nova. And Honeymoon Suite. Research see tickets are on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or through Ticketmaster.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The U.S. calls out North Korea at the UN. Elisa Brady, Fox News. A UN Security Council meeting focusing on human rights violations.
The DPRK government engages in domestic and overseas forced labor and labor exploitation to generate revenue for its unlawful weapons of mass destruction and ballistic missile programs.
U.S. Ambassador to the UN, Linda Thomas-Greenfield, urging all countries to raise awareness and hold North Korea accountable. North Korea's vice foreign minister calls the U.S. the anti-people empire of evils, condemning today's meeting as political and despicable. A pledge to support the eventual nominee. It's one of the requirements for next week's first Republican debate on Fox.
I vote for any of those guys on the stage over Joe Biden because when you're wrong on the economy, you're wrong on energy, and you're wrong on national security, that's affecting every American. That's why we're running.
North Dakota Governor and Republican presidential hopeful Doug Burgums is in single digits in Fox polling, but Burgum says he's encouraged because he doesn't have name recognition yet. Former President Trump still has a commanding lead even after 4 indictments. Ohio voters will face a question this year on legalizing recreational marijuana.
Ohio's Secretary of State Frank LaRose says a petition to put pot on the ballot got enough signatures to head to a vote in November after the coalition to regulate marijuana failed to collect the needed number of signatures the first time. The ballot issue will seek to regulate marijuana like alcohol and to tax it. If approved, people 21 and over could use recreational marijuana in Ohio, where medical marijuana is already legal.
Fox's Jeff Manasso. A strong earthquake evacuating offices and restaurants in Colombia's capital, Bogota. Preliminary magnitude 6. No word of injuries or damage. At least 111 now confirmed dead on Maui in the wildfires. America is listening to Fox News.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep, and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better, night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number.
It's the biggest sale of the year. Save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just one dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's another great August afternoon, 88 for the high, so we're a little bit warmer, but plenty of sunshine out there. Tonight, clear skies, a great evening on the way, and 59 for the overnight low. Friday, sunny, a very pleasant day. 82, Saturday, partly sunny, kind of moderate humidity. It starts to come back, 89, 90, but it is back Sunday, hot and humid, 95. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Fox Across America has landed on St. Louis's home for conservative talk, weeknights at 6.
Hey, Jimmy Fallon in the house. Starting Monday, August 21st, I'm joining the 97.1 team. This is not a drill, folks. It's the real thing.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lancedrurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Did you know the average family home takes on 40 pounds of dust per year? It's this dust and debris that can worsen allergies, asthma, and cause discomfort in your home. Call Zero Res today, 314-474-2020. Get $100 off any of their air duct cleaning packages. 474-2020. Online, ZeroResSTL.com.
You've listened to 97.1 FM Talk. You've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple as the financial expert on the station for many years. You can hear him on Safe Money Radio several times a weekend right here on 97.1 FM Talk. And you can talk to Doug Voss directly. Here's his number. Call Doug at 844-676-SAFE. That is 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
This is Kim St. Ange with the Mark Cox Morning Show on 97.1 FM Talk. I can see clearly now thanks to Doctors Birdie and Malhotra with Ophthalmology Associates, and you can too. Go to youridoc.com today or call 314-966-5000.
This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
I think one has a responsibility to draw to what specifically you're referring to. Is it the notion that if you reference someone being gay, that somehow that's sexualizing our kids? Is that the case with straight people as well? I mean, if you're straight, is that sexualizing? It's rather perverse that I offer that as a rhetorical question, because you go, of course not. So by definition, I don't know what it is they're asserting. It's Orwellian, doublespeak. Or it's just so profoundly ignorant that they've been ginned up by outside agitators, which I think perhaps is a combination of this. And I'm deeply empathetic, because I watch some of these poor parents and they've been so misled by these organized groups.
The parents that Gavin Newsom talking about that are profoundly ignorant, being ginned up by these outside groups about the infiltration of government into the relationships between parents and children. We got to talk to Tyrus about it.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
He's a co-host of the Tyrus and Tim podcast. He's also on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, country traveler with his latest show that you're not going to want to miss, and author. His newest book coming out, Enough Said, which is available for pre-order right now. Tyrus, welcome back to the show.
Always a pleasure.
You know, every day it seems like there's another story of some government official or some local government organization trying to wedge themselves in between the relationship of what a parent expects for their child. Do you think this is a bigger problem that Americans need to be looking at compared to indictments number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all of these other things that suck up all the time?
Yeah, because President Trump's a big boy. He can take care of himself. I listened to that speech or what a sham of a speech that you just played, and the answer to the question that he was trying to ask was all of the above, because it's nobody's business who a child is thinking about having a relationship with or sex with, because they shouldn't be having sex with anyone. So there's no reason to discuss it at school. School, you're there to educate. You're not there to talk about sexuality and matters of the heart and feelings. That's for the parents to decide to discuss. So if my 9-year-old was in public school and wanted to talk about the joys of being heterosexual, that'd be inappropriate. Because again, if there was an issue with a child who was having feelings and went to a teacher because they needed help, then the teacher contacts the parents and the counselors, and it's a group to help them work the way through their feelings. That's one thing. But to have broad discussions about what is okay and what is not okay, or whatever your new ideology is, and you start pushing it on children, there's no place for that in education. So just by him even saying it, he sounds stupid. He's trying to make it sound like if you say that your kid is straight, how many of us walk around and say, oh, my kid's straight?
I've never.
We don't, because that's a decision that those children will make when they are after puberty, when it's appropriate to start having monitored relationships with the opposite sex, or if that's the time when they decide that, they're going to date the same sex or whatever it is. But that's a high school issue. And that's something, again, that no one individual has all the answers to. You go to the parents first, and if the parents and the kids butt head, that's where a counselor comes in. You don't need your home ec teacher or your history teacher deciding to break down what it is and what it's not sexualized, because they have their own issues. And I think that's the problem. We've become the tiger donkey society, where we have a bunch of donkeys telling us the grass is blue nonstop, and the tigers are arguing, no, it's green. We got to stop talking to fools and listening to fools. And when they say things that are so inappropriate, it's none of your business what sexuality my child is, or will be, or won't be. It's none of your business.
Amen to that. We're speaking with Tyrus. I'm curious where you think that that battle will be won as we creep towards an election. There's too much emphasis put on the idea that if my guy, if my girl wins the election, brighter days are ahead. When if you really are a constitutionally based conservative or even more libertarian, there should be problems we should be solving without having to wait on the government to show up and solve said issue. How do we do what you're saying and get some common sense and normalcy back as the mean for the conversation?
Well, the first thing we have to do, in my opinion, is we have to go back to our communities. We have to go back to our neighborhoods. We have to sit down with our neighbor parents and be like, hey, if this is the type of stuff our children are going to be subjected to, then maybe we all pull together and homeschool our kids. We work around our schedules. We find teachers that will work privately, and you get back to the community. And you don't vote based on, because it's an attack on America's moral code is what's going on. And again, this is coming from a guy who is not religious at all. But I grew up saying the Pledge of Allegiance to the flag, but the morals that were pushed upon the school by religious beliefs, etc., were basically respect each other, be appropriate, and don't do inappropriate things to each other or discuss inappropriate things. And there was nothing wrong with that messaging. And that's all under attack. So instead of dealing with a guy like Gavin Newsom or underlings, you have to stop voting Democratic. You have to stop voting Republican. You have to look at the individual, just like if he had a football card, and go down and look at what they really stand for and what their voting record is. And it's not off their speeches, because they will tell you anything to get the job. And we're seeing that. We see it across the board. And then when things happen, you don't wait for them, because while we're fighting over whether there's a new gender that evolves every week and all this nonsense, while we're doing all of that, they're slowly just robbing us blind. Like, we never ask we need to start asking more questions. Like, we're sending $118 billion to Ukraine, and then Ukraine uses that money to buy what? Weapons, right? Who are they buying the weapons from? And of course, then you follow the paper trail, and they're buying it from American companies. So we're basically we're laundering the people's money and then bringing it back to private citizens' money. So, and politicians are all for that, because I have a feeling as we're learning how the game work with Joe Biden and across the board with Nancy Pelosi's and Mitch McConnell and all these guys have their hands in everything, we need to start realizing that politicians are not for us. They are for them, period.
Did you hear the country song, the Oliver Anthony, Rich Men North of Richmond? What'd you think about that?
It's a good song. I don't understand what the issue is. I don't understand the issue. If you don't like a song, if you have an issue, like lately, the country music is under attack. I mean, one guy did the Tracy Chapman remix. Good song.
Yeah.
Made me laugh because he didn't change any of the words. So when he said he was a woman, a young waitress, I laughed.
Never picked that up. That's funny.
Yeah, it's funny. But or I don't know. These days, I don't know. Maybe it's a message. I don't know. But there's the one.
Hey, he can be whatever he wants to be, Tyrus.
But when you start attacking songs, it's a greater thing you need to be looking at. Why are they going after anything that doesn't agree with them? Why are they feeling so sensitive? They're trying to attack everything, and it's like, it's a song. You don't like it? Tough. I grew up, my favorite artist was Ice Cube. My mother hated every song, and if she heard me listen to it, she would take the cassette because she thought she didn't like the language on it, right? And I understood that. But when I got older and another song came on, I didn't go after anybody because I didn't like it. I just didn't listen to it. Listen, I don't like jazz. I don't want all jazz stops because I don't like the message. These people, this power, this narcissism that they keep attacking. You attack the arts. You attack the family. Then what do you have left? You have the weirdos that we're seeing on the microphone telling us that everything we know that is true and facts is not. Like, we have to really, Americans, parents especially, really need to start looking in the mirror, stop voting for your favorite team. We all need to leave the tent and start fortifying our homes, and it starts in our communities and with each other.
Tyrus,
politicians can't do anything if we don't vote for them.
Yeah. they push real hard. They're really aggressive. The people who want to cancel someone who says or does something that they don't like, they're super aggressive. And I mean, you've been in competition quite a bit. They don't fight as hard. If they think that they've won the battle, there's no need for the fight, which means the harder they fight, the more I think that if we go toe to toe, we can absolutely still win this thing.
Yeah, but here's the deal. We need to stop thinking in group terms because that's how they get us sucked in. When I hear somebody say all black people, I walk away. I'm not listening to the donkey. And if no one knows that story, they should look it up. The donkey and the tiger. They should really look it up because it's very, very true today. You know, the donkey screamed the grass was blue, and the tiger was like, "What are you talking about? It's green." And I finally had to go to the king, who was the lion, where the donkey said, "Grass is blue," and I'm right. And the louder he yelled, and the more he yelled, the lion just looked at him and said, "You're right. The grass is blue." And the tiger was shocked. The donkey and the tiger. Then the lion looked at the tiger and goes, "You're going to be punished." And the donkey ran away laughing. Told you. And the tiger asked, "But the grass is green. Why are you punishing me?" "Because you're talking to fools, and you brought this dumb stuff to me. So you need silence." Now, I'm paraphrasing, and I shortened it down in the Tyrus version, but that's basically we need to stop having debates with the fools. Stop listening to fools. If you turn on the news and you start hearing someone giving their opinion with no fact base on anything, change the damn channel. Stop getting sucked into it. There is no group. Not one person speaks for all white people. I don't speak for all blacks. I speak for me and mine. Let's focus on that. We need to get back to our communities and our neighborhoods and figure out what's best for our kids. How do we protect our kids together? Because unified parents on the same page want the same thing, and they leave their dumb political beliefs out of it and just do what's best for their communities are way more powerful than divide and conquer. And then you have one parent screaming that goes on TikTok and everyone says she's crazy, but she's not. She's fed up. So that's the game. We just have to stop playing the game.
And I really appreciate that sentiment, too, because if you're talking about parents, like-minded parents, getting together to fight for something, what is like-minded? It's my backing of your right to raise your children the way you want to. And, you just said previously that you're not a religious person. I'm a religious person. And we would advocate for each other's rights to raise our own individual children the way we see fit, even though your way won't be my way and my way won't be your way. That's the direction we need to be in.
I won't be. This is a perfect example, okay? I'm not preaching. On Sundays, I'm not going to church. I'm watching the game, okay? But the message from church, even though I don't believe in it, I believe in the message of overall being kind to one another, turn the other cheek. The 10 Commandments are pretty good rules. Even if you're not in a religion, they're pretty good rules, to live by. So I can find common ground. Now, again, when the Jehovah's Witness knocks on my door, I'm not going to answer. But I'm not going to be upset at the moral, because I still have a moral code. And I want my children to be around other children with families who have a moral code, which means that the 8-year-old isn't wearing a bikini thong at the pool and isn't walking around talking about who they're dating or what they're going to do, because that's inappropriate behavior, and that comes from the parents not paying attention. So I'm not going to want my child to play with that child just based off what I'm seeing. I'm like, oh, no, I clearly don't have the same I don't agree with that child rearing. So, but a child whose parents are devoutly Christian or Catholic or Muslim or whatever their religious beliefs, and we can still find common ground, because at the end of the day, I am a firm believer in rules.
Yeah.
And decorum and morality and how we act and how we take care of ourselves and how we raise our children and how we want our children to be raised. So I don't have an issue with that. We just, when Sunday comes, I'm going to watch the game. You're going to go to church, and and that's fine. That's common ground. I'm not going to sit there and tell you you're wrong because you go to church. So the only time would be a problem would be is if you started to come to me and like, well, there's something wrong with you because you're not in church. That's where we cross the line, because what we're having with these groups is if you don't think like us, there's something wrong with you. Yeah. And they use the words racism, homophobic, or anything phobic to get you to say, oh, I don't want to fight, so you're fine. They're the donkeys telling us the grass is blue, and we're saying, oh, okay, and then we get frustrated and angry about it, and you see all these videos on TV, you see these brilliant psychiatrists arguing with somebody's feelings, and we're like, oh, got him, but they're not learning. They're incapable of learning. People who have that type of, they have issues, and it doesn't matter what you say to them, you will not change their mind. they will just get more aggressive, and we see it every time because they're not dealing in reality. They're dealing in their make-believe world or whatever they want, and they want us all to fall in line. And most Americans don't have the time to do so. But instead of fighting, we fight. We fight back. But it's a dumb argument to have in the first place, and you're nothing good's coming of it. You never see anyone change their mind.
Stop arguing with fools.
Yeah, we have to stop arguing.
Step one.
Yeah, that's number one. When they show up and they're like, I'm here to discuss the 47 genders. You know what? Have a good day.
Have a good day.
I'm not playing. I choose not to participate.
Yeah, it really is wonderful advice. It's actually kind of peaceful advice in the climate that we live in today. Tyrus, I'm grateful for you.
When they argue with each other, what are they going to do when they argue with each other?
Yeah, I don't know. They'll probably still find a way, but if you don't have to be there, if the tree falls in the woods, you know.
Taking my ball and going home.
Tyrus, thank you. We appreciate you.
Always a pleasure.
Yep, we'll talk to you soon. Co-host of the Tyrus and Tim podcast, Fox News contributor. He is on Gutfeld with regularity. He is the NWA World Heavyweight Champion, and he's author of a book coming out right now. It's called Nuff Said. You can get it for pre-order right now. Go tell Tyrus hi go tell Tyrus hi on Twitter at Planet Tyrus. Tell him let's agree with that. If you do on Twitter, stop arguing with fools. Simple but really, really fantastic advice from Tyrus. We're going to take a quick break, go to the YouTube Live right now, the Annie Frey YouTube channel, and vote in this poll, which is the top issue that affects your 2024 vote. Is it the economy, corruption, government overreach, or your concerns about our national defense? If you go to the Annie Frey YouTube channel, you can cast your vote in the live chat portion, and we will feature some of your comments when we return. You're going to want to keep it right here on 97.1 FM Talk, because at 2:15, the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, joins the Annie Frey Show. Back in a minute. TheDiamondShop.net, TheDiamondShop.net. When you were looking to make a jewelry purchase, now's a great time to go to the Clayton store. Stop by. Tell Tom, Mona, Nikki, the entire crew there at the Diamond Shop's waiting to meet you. Tell them hi from the Annie Frey Show while you shop their summer clearance event. Up to 70% off select items in store at the Diamond Shop. When you are looking for something special for yourself, for somebody close to you, if you're looking to do a little early Christmas shopping, it is August 17th. It will be Christmas before you know it. You can enjoy 6 months same as cash with special financing available when you shop at the Diamond Shop, and you can save big with that summer clearance sale, up to 70% off select items. If you go online to their website, thediamondshop.net, you can click the link to become a VIP, get extra opportunities to save and notifications on great events that they have coming up. The Diamond Shop does wonderful events that you can participate in, charitable events around their community as well to give back, but they're always looking to provide you with the best custom jewelry and watch repair appraisals. They also buy gold. Reach out to the Diamond Shop for your next jewelry purchase. You can find them online at thediamondshop.net.
The roar of our engines, the pump of our heartbeats, the pedal to our metal, the sparks that ignite us, the pistons that push us, the passions that drive us. From the feelings that move us to the places that pull us on the roads that unite us. With nearly 6,000 stores and over 17,000 auto care centers, Napa has America's largest network of parts and care, here to keep you firing on all cylinders.
Happy 62nd birthday, Granddad.
Thanks, sweetheart.
I got you this.
A mug. Oh, thank you. What does it say? Beware. If you are 60 or older, you may be at increased risk of hospitalization from RSV, respiratory syncytial virus, compared to adults younger than 60.
Not all dangers come with warning labels. Talk to your pharmacist or doctor about getting vaccinated against RSV today. Learn more at bewareofrsv.com. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Attention taxpayers. If you or your business owe the IRS back taxes or have years of unfiled tax returns, the IRS has green-lighted billions of dollars in tax relief to those facing financial hardship through its tax relief initiatives. If you have a delinquent tax problem
problem and possibly facing wage garnishment, liens, levies, audits, or already in a payment plan, you may now qualify for significant relief. Qualifying and enrolling in this program could stop all collections, settle your tax problem, and may even reduce what you owe by up to 99%. Call the hotline at Tax Help USA to see if you qualify and receive your free tax assessment by dialing 800-210-1005. If you or your business owe back taxes to the IRS or state, you can now get the help that you need during these hard economic times. Get your free tax assessment to see what you qualify for by dialing 800-210-1005. 800-210-1005. That's 800-210-1005.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
Hi, this is Brian with Velocity Home Buyers, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-782-3333. I can pay cash and close in as little as 7 days. I buy houses in any condition and any price range in the St. Louis area. I'm a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that needs updating, but you don't have the time or money for it? Great, because I love buying outdated houses. I buy vacant houses, job relocation houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at 314-782-3333. That's 314-782-3333.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsl.honorflight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
For details and a list of all station contest rules, visit www.971talk.com/rules. The Mark Reardon Show.
Illinois Congressman Mike Bost.
Every time we find more things on Biden, another indictment come down so that you're not paying attention to Biden, you're paying attention to Trump.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
On a sidewalk, carjacking old lady at a red light. Pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face. Stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think it's tough. Try that in a small town.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Thanks for being with us this afternoon. We have spoken so far with Hans Von Spakovsky, and we asked him that question that we've discussed with some other legal experts on the show, but talking about those fake electors, the slate of electors, when we opened the show today, we were asking and pontificating on, if you went to 100 people just out in the street, wherever you are right now, and you said, tell me what a slate of electors is, how many of them would have even the slightest understanding of it? It's got to be less than 10%.
Oh, certainly less than 10%. I think we were fighting over whether it would be 2 or 5.
Yeah, I don't think a lot of people understand that. But then when these issues get discussed, I mean, I have a decent idea of what this stuff is, but I couldn't argue it in a court of law or defend against it. So we always like to have those types of questions when we have our legal experts on. And Hans Von Spakovsky was on with us at 12:25. You can rewind on the Odyssey app if you want to hear that. Tyrus just got done talking with us, and we were talking about parenting and the Gavin Newsom conversation where he called parents profoundly ignorant because they've been ginned up by outside agitators for opposing indoctrination in education. I think that there are a lot more normal classrooms across the country than the news story would make people believe. But I don't feel like the education industry really makes room for people to be vocally the opposite in a public school system. And I'm saying politically the opposite, but the idea that there are all over social media, TikTok, YouTube Shorts, whatever it might be, educators of small children, second grade, first grade, kindergarten, preschool, where they have open conversations about gender identities. And, Gavin Newsom says, I should just play it for you again here because this kind of makes my jaw drop the way he positions this.
I think one has a responsibility to do it. What specifically are you referring to? Is it the notion that if you reference someone being gay, that somehow that's sexualizing our kids? Is that the case with straight people as well?
I've never been a part of an instance where being straight was something that you had to identify about yourself.
Right.
As a single time in my life. There's never been a point where it's like, hi, my name's Annie. I'm straight. I'm heterosexual. And, maybe that conversation, when I'm saying this, somebody who would be on the other side of the aisle might go, well, that's because you don't have to, because that's a default. But the question is, how am I supposed to treat you differently if you come to me and you say, hi, my name is Jane and I'm gay? When you tell me you're gay, I'm not going to, A, look at you differently, B, treat you differently. I'm not going to ask you what your religion, oh, you're gay. What kind of, are you of a person of faith? I don't need to know that in order to treat you, to interact with you, to work with you, to be friends with you. These are not things that I have ever gone to somebody and shook their hand and told them what my name is and then given them my resume.
Yeah, it's not on the forefront, and it definitely shouldn't be in the classroom. I think the left likes to bring this argument up a lot. Gavin Newsom saying what I've heard before, what we've all heard before, that if you're in a classroom and a teacher, let's say it's a male teacher, says something about their wife, you're not going to really note, a kid's not going to pay much attention to that. But if he says something about his husband, just as casually, a kid is going to notice that. A kid is going to be like, oh, that's something different. Really, any age, they're going to take notice of that, just like you would. If somebody referenced their wife, you go, okay. Somebody referenced their husband, you kind of take more notice because it's different. What Gavin Newsom is saying is those two things are on the same exact playing field. You're sexualizing the same types of things. And it's just not true because it's not the same. Because it's not as normal. It's not as common, I should say, is the right word. So him comparing those two things is, in a sense, saying, I want to push a social agenda.
What needs to be said in a classroom? Like, what is if my husband's teaching in a classroom, where does his wife come into the conversation?
It usually doesn't. And it really, I think an agreement that we could make socially is to say, let's just not talk about our relationships in the classroom at all.
Teach the subject matter.
Yeah.
And it is my preference and my household's preference that it's maybe a little bit different of a situation. But if questions start being asked about Mr. Frey's wife, the response is kind of, that's not your business.
Right.
It really isn't. And especially with the evolution of social media and Google and everything like that, I really feel like there needs to be a strong delineation between I am your teacher here to educate you on a subject matter, and anything that involves my personal life is none of your business. And the idea that there are educators who prioritize their own personal life as some sort of instructional priority is so upside down. I don't really feel like we are boasting the test scores to give us the liberties to go into that realm of any situation.
And that's the best case scenario as we get to the point, and I think we could agree with this. That's the thing, is I think the best case scenario is we get to a point where in the classroom, we just say, let's try as hard as we can. We know it probably won't be 100%, but let's try as hard as we can to not talk about our personal lives and just leave it at the door. This goes way beyond that, though. This is way further. When you see some of this indoctrination, it is deliberately sitting kids down and saying, let's talk about your gender identity. That should be way off limits.
Or asking, like, what are your pronouns?
Yes.
You know, do you feel like a boy or a girl today? You know, that's broaching the subject. And then the kid looks at you like, what do you mean? Well, now you got to explain it. And that's the entranceway. It's a leading question meant to open a doorway into a deeper conversation about that sort of thing, which you just don't need to be having with somebody that young. Part of the reason that I think we have these teachers and these people that are obsessed with, like Gavin Newsom was saying, well, what about somebody talking about, you know, they're being straight, or they have so wrapped up their identity in their sexuality that they feel like if I can't talk about this, I can't be my true self.
It's not about normalizing homosexuality. It's about normalizing sexuality with children.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Bad. And you're not going to do it. You're not going to get away with it with my kids, which is I've taken the measures, and for reasons that are beneficial to me in this particular situation, but the actual purpose coming from a different reason, that I put my kids in Lutheran schools. I have always, I'm a product of Lutheran schools. That may be a huge endorsement for Lutheran schools. It may not. It depends on your perspective, which I respect that. But the idea that my children will be educated in a place that teaches the religious faith that my husband and I have chosen to raise our family in is something that I say is worthy of the tuition dollars that I pay, which I'm telling you right now, if you've been looking for an alternative, Lutheran school is much more affordable than you think it is. Go check it out. And some people say, well, Annie, you're indoctrinating your kids. You're darn right I am. And the thing that I think is this superseding most important thing they will ever learn in their entire lives is that Jesus loves them. That is the most important thing to my husband and to me for our children, is that if they fail every math class and they don't make the sports team, and the girl they wanted to date or the boy they wanted to date says no to them and everything is going wrong, that at the end of the day, Jesus still loves them. And I'm making sure that they hear that every single day for us in a Lutheran school. And it's worth it for me. If you took this human sexuality and gender identity religion that has become an altar to worship at for the left, and you opened up schools across the country and said, we're going all in on this. We don't think the public school is going far enough, and we know that this is what children need to be raised in. Open up those schools. Do it. Charge tuition for it. And people who are as passionate about making sure that those children are indoctrinated in that religious faith, do it. Let people sign up for it. Let people put their money, their hard-earned money, on the table to make that happen for their children. See how successful that is.
And you're right, it is a religion, because that's what the adherents to that ideology do. They proselytize, they evangelize with the cause, they try to gain disciples into gender ideology. That is what it is. It is a completely different worldview, and these are two clashing worldviews that all we're asking is that you just sort of keep it neutral. You don't have to teach the one that we have, but don't teach a different one that's at odds with the one we have.
See, here's a comment from a listener on the show, on the YouTube page, which you can join and you can comment as well. We like all kinds of kinds. Just be respectful. He says, you guys seem to be saying you just don't want anyone to be gay. Matt, open your ears. Listen to what people are saying. Your predetermined judgments on other people is the bigotry that you're throwing on this show and these words. Go back and find the place where we said that. Has nothing to do with that. The idea that sexuality would be something that would be injected into the classrooms of small children is what we detest. And I have no qualms in saying that, Matt. When we talk about sexuality being discussed in classrooms where parents aren't present and being done from the perspective and the position of somebody who may have different views on it than we do, your takeaway from that, your small-minded takeaway from that is that we don't want anyone to be gay? Matt, you're smarter than that. Do better. Listen to what people have to say. I'm saying teach the kids addition. Teach the children what pronouns are, not which ones they have. Look at the test scores across this country and tell me that this priority in our education system, which is only the loud, squeaky wheel of a few minority viewpoints that know how to use a TikTok account to make it the big issue that is being discussed nationally, that politicians then put their wet finger in the wind and say, this is a hot issue, we got to be on this. And then they run campaigns on it, and they latch their wagon right along to the issue so that they can win an election on it. And in the meanwhile, we're advocating for sexuality conversations in the classrooms of small people. Come on, Matt. I know you're better than that. You listen to the show all the time. Give yourself some credit. Let's take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Around here we take care of our own.
The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up all that might fly in the city. Good luck. Try that in.
Centric Security and Automation. You find them online at centricstl.com. That's Centric with a C, centricstl.com. It's critical to protect life and property. And when, the world is getting crazy, or you feel as though maybe the police response isn't as fast as it should be because they're so incredibly understaffed, you need to take matters into your own hand to make sure that your building, your people, the stuff you own inside that building, your intellectual property, that it's all safe. Centric Security and Automation is a nationally recognized company that is located right here in St. Louis. And they can help you and your business find an affordable situation to make sure that your video surveillance system is working and is accessible and is helpful when the time of need arrives. You can make sure that the access control system that allows people in and out of your building to help make sure you're monitoring that situation is working the way it's supposed to be, is mobilely accessible and is convenient to making sure that you have the secure environment that you deserve. Reach out to Centric Security and Automation at 314-442-6860. That's 314-442-6860. You can find them online at centricstl.com.
This is Matt Spiegel of 670 The Score in Chicago, and my podcast, The PBP, Voices of Baseball, is all about the art and craft of play-by-play. Catch up on episodes with Joe Davis, Joe Buck, and many more. Then something crazy happened along the way. I did a weekend of Cubs-Cardinals on the radio, so now conversations are enriched with feedback and advice from Jason Benetti, Boog Shambi, and others to come. The PBP, Voices of Baseball. I bring you the people who bring you the game. Listen on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcast.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-399-9407 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-399-9407. That's 800-399-9407. What do you have to lose? Call 800-399-9407. Again, 800-399-9407.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw. Or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
This is Dan McLaughlin, inviting you to the 21st Annual Dan McLaughlin Golf Tournament to benefit the Special Education Foundation. This tournament has raised over $5 million, and 100% of the money raised has gone to children with special needs in our community. To sponsor, volunteer, or to play in the event on October 9th at Norwood Hills Country Club, please visit sef-stl.org. I'll see you on October 9th at Norwood Hills Country Club.
Stick around because on the Annie Frey Show in about 20 minutes, Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, is going to be live on the show. Can't wait for that. So keep it here for that. It's going to be great. The Annie Frey Show YouTube live chat poll, which is the top issue that affects your 2024 vote? Economy, corruption, government overreach, national defense concerns. Let us know about that. And Cardinal tickets coming up in just a second. Stick around for all of that here on the Annie Frey Show. It is 1:48. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
We are Under Law, your St. Louis legal powerhouse. Auto accidents, work injuries, pharmaceutical litigations, we do it all.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-900,000 to learn more.
Andrea, what are you doing up there on the Best Buy flooring sign?
Scott, I'm letting contractors know that we have the best flooring.
Come down from there because they need to come in and see our huge selection of carpet, carpet tile, luxury vinyl plank, luxury vinyl tile, sheet vinyl, laminate, hardwood, and ceramic tile in person.
Yes, we will not be undersold. Come see us at our two locations, 7301 North Lindbergh Boulevard in Hazelwood, Missouri, and 1851 West US Highway 50 in O'Fallon, Illinois. Open 7 days a week.
Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Hey, do you want to win a pair of Cardinal tickets for the Military Appreciation Night coming up tomorrow night at the ballpark? Well, call right now, 314-241-9797. That number is 314-241-9797. What caller do they have to be?
Caller number 6 in honor of Stan Musial.
All right, here we go. Number 6. 314-214-9797.
Inviting you to join us for our annual blood drive in memory of Brett Bloom. Call 800-RED-CROSS or visit redcrossblood.org and use sponsor code KMOX.
I took her out, it was a Friday night. I woke alone to get the feeling right. We started making out and she took off my pants, but then I turned on the TV, and that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23, and I still more abuse my TV shows. What the hell is ADD? My friends say I should act my age. What's my age?
This is the Annie Frey Show.
So we got the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, coming up at 2:15. What do you want to talk to? Anything you want me to ask him?
I just grill him.
What's his favorite place to eat a cheeseburger?
Yeah, that's what I want. That kind of grilling.
How do you like toasted ravioli?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, ask him St. Louis centric questions.
Where do you go to high school? I've got a burning question, and everybody in St. Louis wants to know.
Bagels or donuts?
Bagels or donuts? Yeah, that could be.
You ever had gooey butter cake? Wah, wah.
We'll be speaking with Speaker Kevin McCarthy at 2:15 on the Annie Frey Show. He's going to be joining us along with Congressman Mike Bost of the 12th District in Congress. Hans Von Spakovsky was with us at 12:25, Tyrus at 1:05. Check those out on the Annie Frey Show podcasts. Are you guys, when you are watching Biden, Hunter Biden, Joe Biden, corruption, big story hits, maybe a testimony or a whistleblower or something like that, and then indictment hits, and then we'll have naturally another Biden thing come out. And I don't know how many more indictments they can squeeze out of this, but I'm not going to underestimate them. What is the number one issue that you feel like is not being talked about that should be, when that absorbs the majority of our focus?
I think the number one issue that should be being talked about more when that stuff's going on is probably the border. It's just such a huge issue, and nobody's doing anything about it. And the only way it's going to change is if we talk about it, and if Democrats turn and say this is a problem. That's what it's going to take. And unfortunately, they just don't care. They're
starting
not doing anything.
to.
They are starting to.
If you pay attention to what's going on, was it Massachusetts and New York? They're saying, hey, we don't have any room. And I don't know what the exact numbers are, but they pale in comparison to what Texas and Arizona and other border states are experiencing. And the Democrats in those northeastern states are crying they can't handle anymore. So maybe they'll be able to put some pressure on the Biden administration because they are from the same party, or maybe it's just going to cause infighting there. I don't know. But something has to be done.
What is the top issue that affects your 2024 vote? That's the YouTube live chat poll for today. The economy, corruption, government overreach, or your national defense concerns. All of these are incredibly broad topics. And if I don't know if there are any things that you're thinking, gosh, I would really vote for this, but it's not on the list. If you've got one of those subjects, tell me what it is, and I would tell you where I would put it on that list. But what, according to our YouTube poll today, Ryan, is the overarching thing that you'd put your vote behind?
It's a mixture between corruption and government overreach. It's actually kind of using the government in corrupt ways. So I would say it's both of those. If I had to pick between them, I'd say it's government overreach because that seems to be a problem. Even when it's not corrupt, they're doing it. And that's the one issue that I'm looking at candidates and going, how are you going to react to the bloat that is Washington, D.C.? I want to know that first and foremost, and then I'll consider you.
Brad?
I look at this and like knee-jerk reactions like, man, national defense is really important. But I think that literally any of the candidates would, because I worry about China. I think literally any of the other candidates would do a better job on China than Joe Biden's doing. So it's really not that. And I think I'm going to end up leaning with Ryan, government overreach. I do not want as much government in my life as I'm experiencing currently.
It's interesting to look at the results right now, midway through the show. We've got 167 votes at this point in time, so hurry up and get yours in before the end of the show, of course, at 3 o'clock, and we'll read the results at about 2:55-ish. What's the top issue that affects your 2024 vote? Economy, corruption, government overreach, or national defense concerns? I think that the corruption, we had a comment from somebody earlier that said corruption permits all the others. I think that's what I choose. Larry says, I chose corruption. That's funny. It's like he chooses it. I chose corruption. I believe this corrupt administration that's making the bad decisions causing all the problems in America as well as the world. I mean, if to me, which of these issues fixes the others? While I feel as though Americans' economic position right now is very scary for me. I graduated college in 2006. I bought a house in 2007. You might remember what happened to the housing industry in 2008. My husband and I didn't buy beyond our means. In fact, we had 3 months to make the house livable because that's what we could afford. But we have if you're my age and you're around 40, I'm not quite there yet, but close. There are a lot of dramatic economic hardships that we have had to bear in our lifetime. I don't know that that's particularly distinct from other generations, but it seems as though we have had a very difficult ability to try to get ahead. It's like the best you can do is doing all right. Like this, I can handle this right now. And I feel as though if you're at my age where you've got a mortgage, you've got kids to raise and, 2-income home, you can be doing okay, but I'm not far enough away from, oh my gosh, disaster as I want to be. And when people are spending $700 extra a month on bills and food and everything, it gets very difficult to get ahead.
There were mainstream outlets talking about the unluckiest generation as of just this week, and it's millennials because of all the things you just listed.
I'm going to ask Kevin McCarthy about this in a few minutes. He's going to be with us at 2:15, and we're going to talk to him about this issue specifically. Bidenomics as some sort of badge for the Biden administration to be wearing around the country, using it as a re-election tool. He's talking about it so much. It's almost as though the Biden campaign is protesting a wee bit too much for me to buy what they're selling. I certainly know that if I were buying what they're selling, that it would cost about 20% more than it should. Stick around. We'll have Kevin McCarthy on the Annie Frey Show at 2:15 along with Congressman Mike Bost. Don't go away.
And that's about the time she walked away from me. Nobody likes you when you're 23. And you still act like you're in freshman year. What the hell is wrong with me? My friends say I should act my age. That's about the time that she broke up with me. No one should take themselves so seriously. With many years ahead to fall in line. Why would you wish that on me?
Prescriptions require online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to 4hims.com/radio. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands to treat ED at up to 95% off. That's right, the same active ingredient as the brand name for 95% less. It's the same ED medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, 4hims.com/radio. That's 4hims.com/radio for your free online visit. FORHIMS.com/RADIO.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years. Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO. Easy to remember phone number. Or go online today at 877-25RHINO.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Can he keep the momentum going? I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A big question for presidential hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy, who has surged into third among Republicans in new Fox polling. And he just told Fox News,
for a long time, the GOP, we've been a party that's running from something. I'm in this race to start leading us to something, to our vision of what it even means to be an American today.
Ramaswamy is just 5 points behind Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, though both remain far behind the GOP frontrunner, former President Donald Trump, despite his 4 indictments. In Georgia, where Trump was indicted this week in an election interference case, the Fulton County Sheriff's Office now says it is aware that personal information of grand jury members is being shared on various platforms. Sheriff's officials say they take the matter very seriously, that they're coordinating efforts to respond quickly to any credible threats, and are working with local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies to track down the origin of the threats in Fulton County and other jurisdictions. Earlier today, the former president again condemning his indictments as election interference. He's also rejecting President Biden's economic message and calling for energy independence.
Inflation was caused in my opinion, by energy, because it's so big. Energy is so big. It's like all-encompassing everything. You make donuts and the ovens and the trucks that deliver them, and no matter what you do, it's so much about energy.
His interview with Fox Business's Larry Kudlow airs 1 hour from now on Fox Business. A House panel just announcing subpoenas for FBI Director Christopher Wray and U.S. Attorney General Merrick Garland in the Judiciary Committee's probe into allegations of online censorship. Chairman Jim Jordan has accused the Biden administration of working with a misinformation tracking group to take down speech. The White House has denied censorship claims. America is listening to Fox News.
Wake up, people. You are optimizing every waking hour of your life. From carpooling kids, to work, to friends, and everything in between. You have to get sleep, and a bed that can perform as well as you do. Meet the next generation Sleep Number Smart Bed. It effortlessly adjusts to your shape, position, and movements, learning how you sleep, so you learn to sleep better, night after night. Sleep next level, only from Sleep Number.
It's the biggest sale of the year. Save 50% on the Sleep Number limited edition smart bed, plus free home delivery when you add a base. Ends Monday.
When a cold comes on strong, knock it out with Vicks DayQuil Severe for max strength daytime relief. Just 1 dose of Vicks DayQuil Severe starts to relieve 9 of your worst cold and flu symptoms to help take you from 9 to none. Power through your day with Vicks DayQuil Severe, the daytime non-drowsy, coughing, aching, fever, sore throat, 9 to none medicine. Use as directed.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
It's another great August afternoon. 88 for the high, so we're a little bit warmer, but plenty of sunshine out there. Tonight, clear skies, a great evening on the way, and 59 for the overnight low. Friday, sunny, a very pleasant day. 82. Saturday, partly sunny, kind of moderate humidity. It starts to come back, 89, 90, but it is back Sunday, hot and humid, 95. This is 97.1 FM Talk, Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
What's holding you back from learning the language you've always wanted to know?
Too hard. Takes too long.
Not with Babbel. Babbel's lessons take just 15 minutes a day.
15 minutes isn't long.
Nope. And they're fun.
Fun isn't hard.
Right. Babbel's interactive lessons, podcasts, games, and more make it fun and engaging, so you don't realize you're learning a language, but you are. And Babbel's lessons are built around real life. You can choose from topics like travel, business, relationships, and more. You'll learn what matters most to you. Plus, Babbel's lessons are designed to get you speaking right away. In 3 weeks, you're able to start having conversations.
Just 3 weeks? Even better.
Since Babbel's lessons are designed by language experts and voiced by real native speakers, you'll get the accents just right and be able to carry on conversations with confidence.
Learning a language with Babbel doesn't take long.
And with Babbel, it isn't hard.
It's perfect.
And now, try Babbel free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com. Babbel.com.
Did you know the IRS is a super creditor? Hi, I'm Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm. The IRS is the only creditor that can create a bill for you without your permission, then drop the hammer and aggressively collect it by wiping out your bank account, seizing your assets, and levying your wages. No other creditor can do that, and this can all happen without a court approval. If you owe back taxes, you need to be prepared to face the super creditor. Don't just sit back and take it. Fight back. At the Lance Drury Law Firm, we know how to use the laws to your advantage and go toe-to-toe with the IRS. Our office is located right here in St. Louis. Contact the Lance Drury Law Firm today for a free consultation with me, or visit us at lance.drurylaw.com or call 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120 to get started.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
St. Louis physician Dr. Abicki created Neovitin 15 years ago to help support his own nutrition when he needed it most. Since then, Neovitin has helped thousands of people support their daily nutrition with sensible doses of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants, and Dr. Abicki's proprietary blend. If you're ready to join many St. Louisans in supporting their nutrition, give Neovitin a try. You can find Neovitin at your local Schnucks, Dierbergs, and online at neovitin.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts proudly introduces new Brake Best Select Pro brake pads and rotors. For superior stopping power and professional-grade performance, choose Brake Best Select Pro. Available only from the professional parts people at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Not just right and left, right and wrong. We're discussing it every day on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. This hour of the Annie Frey Show is brought to you by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Said 1,000 times, there is no quit in America. Name me a single objective we've ever set out to accomplish that we've failed on. Name me one in all of our history. Not one. It's never been a good bet to bet against America. And it's still not a good bet today.
I always wonder why, when he's trying to tout his accomplishments, he gets angrier.
I like angry Biden.
Do you like angry Biden? Do you like whispery Biden? Do you like wandering around on the stage Biden?
Oh, gosh. How could I pick? It's like my three favorites. It's like picking between my kids.
Sometimes it's wandering around on a stage, whispering and yelling back and forth at the same time.
Yeah, it's a whole conversation happening.
It's hard to believe that this is the guy who is running for re-election for president, let alone the idea that he's actually the president currently. And I am really looking forward to seeing how he continues to morph Bidenomics. Capital B, Bidenomics is the bold-faced word in your 2024 textbook that you need to be studying as to who should earn your vote. How Bidenomics transfers should he no longer be the nominee for the party. Then what do you do? I almost wonder, because I am very skeptical of everything. If the purpose of naming it Bidenomics is so that when people actually have to admit that it's terrible and he's no longer the nominee, they can still call it Bidenomics.
You think he just wants the recognition?
I don't think he knows what's going on. I think the powers that be who tell him. And today, class, on our list of words we're going to talk to for the general public, we're going to teach them about Bidenomics, and we're going to wrap everything that exists in the economy right now. We're going to tell everybody that it's a fantastic thing. We're going to make sure everybody understands that we are responsible for the way things are going right now, and we're going to make sure that everybody collects all of that information under the heading of the bold-faced word of Bidenomics. And then Joe Biden's no longer the nominee, and then Bidenomics becomes a bad thing that the new person doesn't have to run on.
Ooh, now you got me thinking, though. Oh,
that's an accomplishment.
It is. Most of the time, I just wander around the stage whispering and yelling at myself.
With the song Scatterbrain playing in the background. I hope you went and looked up the lyrics to that song, song Scatterbrain. It's an amazing song from Grandma and Grandpa's era.
What if you are onto something with the whole naming it because of the election, but not because they're trying to influence voters? They're just trying to make sure that the name the Bidenomics, whether you give it good credit or bad credit, you can't move on from Biden. That he's playing it like, you got to, now you're stuck with me. You're using the word, now you're stuck with Biden. Like it's a hedge against somebody else trying to take that spot from him.
I don't think he's in charge.
What makes you think that?
I don't think he makes those decisions. I just don't. I think one of the things that when Joe Biden came onto the scene and made the case to the American people that he was going to be the adult in the room, in the basement room, and he was going to lead this country out of the turmoil and the drama and the childish, air quote, ways of the former guy known as President Donald Trump, that he was going to come on the scene and bring everybody together. He articulated that message over and over and over again. It was the message. His message was, I'm a grown man. I know how to do this job. I'm not Donald Trump. Period. That's it. If you want to put the adults in the room, like that was the message. It's going to bring people together by virtue of being the adult in the room. And then he became the president of the United States, and he has done not a single thing to bring people together. Correction. He's done one thing. There are Democrats who don't want to vote for him again. The probably greatest thing that he has done to unify this country is to make people actually consider not just voting straight party line. Donald Trump is on the other side of the ticket, then it almost balances out that effect. There is not a strong contingent of people in this country that are behind the Biden name. It may be the strongest contingent of people ever and largest group of base that Donald Trump has and brings to the table. In the meantime, we have real issues that face your everyday existence in this country. And what we see the government doing is showing up at every opportunity that exists, and where they don't exist, creating opportunities to show up and provide a solution to a problem that you didn't know you had, or that probably was invented or made worse by the existence of government overreach to begin with. It costs money that you don't have to sacrifice out of your paycheck, from your kitchen table, from your baby's bottom and the diapers that you need to buy, from the mortgage that you need to pay, from the taxes that you have to pay at the grocery store, at the taxes you have to pay when you're buying your home goods, for the taxes you have to pay on your property, on your personal property tax in the state of Missouri, the income tax. You're working hard to make money, and you're saying to yourself, where is this money going and what am I getting from it? Bidenomics is something that this president boasts about. And while we sit here and take in what that Bidenomics means for us, and it does not match up our personal understanding and existence, and you listen to the president of the United States pushing and pushing and pushing this idea that Bidenomics, you should be saying, thank you, taxpayers. Voters, you should be out there saying, I'm so glad this is the man that's in charge. I'm so glad that this is the guy whose policies we're getting through. Because this is the guy who's fighting for us. Is that how you feel? Let's listen to Stuart Varney again on the issue.
The president made some dubious claims. He used his signature whispering tone to claim inflation is down and going lower. Has he seen gas and diesel prices recently? Interest rates are moving up again, 7% mortgages, and that's got the housing market stalled. Youngsters kept out. The average age of a home buyer these days is 36, the highest in years. To deal with inflation, consumers now dipping into using their credit cards. They've racked up $1 trillion worth of credit card debt. Hardship withdrawals from 401ks rising rapidly. In short, 1 year of inflation reduction has not done much for middle America.
Inflation reduction. The idea that you would pass the Inflation Reduction Act and then Americans would have to go along their daily lives while gas creeps up to $4 a gallon. If you're somebody who commutes, I mean, we all, what is your commute? Like 20
About
20
20
miles?
minutes.
Miles.
Yeah, roughly.
Same? A little bit more, maybe. Yeah. I don't know for you. We all probably drive around 45 miles round trip every day. When gas goes up to $4 a gallon every day, I have the blessing, I suppose, of buying gasoline downtown St. Louis, which is cheaper than the state of Illinois. But when gas goes up $4 to $4 a gallon, as it is creeping up right now, it affects my bottom line.
You can feel
significantly.
Yeah, absolutely.
When Donald Trump was the president of the United States, gas was in the $2s. I remember pumping gas at the gas station and seeing it was $1 something at one point. And I remember thinking to myself, this is actually kind of wild that gas is this affordable. The burden that is relieved on your personal income, your ability to afford, if I'm raising 4 children and I have a medical expense that comes up with one of my 4 children and I'm paying $4 a gallon at the pump versus $2 a gallon at the pump, it hinders my ability to be a mom and take care of my kids. It hinders my ability to be able to be the best worker I can for the company that I work for. And everybody feels it. It's an unnamed tax on the American people. And it seems as though Bidenomics might be the reason why this is happening. And for some reason, they want to make it a positive. Let's get to our guests now. I'm very excited to welcome onto the show Congressman Bost. We've spoken to him many times here on the Annie Frey Show. He is the United States Congressman for Illinois' 12th District. And Speaker Kevin McCarthy, the Speaker of the House, joins us now. Gentlemen, thank you so much for the time today.
Annie, thanks for having us on.
Thank you, Annie. Speaker, I want to welcome you personally to the show, and we're talking a little bit about Bidenomics here, and just the juxtaposition of what it's like to live here in flyover country in St. Louis, where we see blue state Illinois, red state Missouri, and to understand state governments have a pretty big impact on our existence, but this Bidenomics plan is affecting people of all walks of life, all political spectrums. And for some reason or another, the president's going around the country telling us we should be thankful for his Bidenomics plan.
Annie, you're 100% right. And, we have a lot in common. I'm from California. You're from Illinois.
Yeah.
Beautiful states with really bad governors with bad policies that have made our streets unsafe. We've watched what they've done with their economics. But you're right about Biden. Why would he ever tout this? You know why he's touting this? Our interest rates are now just hit the highest it's been in 20 years. We watch the price of fuel go up. We watch that add to inflation, supply chain problems. Then we've watched what he does, uses the government to go after parents when they want to go to a school board meeting and have to stay in their kids' education. His policies has made us weak. We just 2 days ago had the second anniversary of 13 Gold Star families that still do not have the answer based upon the decisions he made in Afghanistan, not listening to our military. So it's not just his policies on economics that brought us inflation we haven't seen since the 70s. We've got fuel prices. It's made us weaker around when God has blessed this nation. And if you truly care about the environment, if we would use American natural gas and we replace Russian natural gas in Europe for only 1 year, we would lower CO2 emissions by 218 million tons because we provide it in a more environmentally sound way, and our natural gas is cleaner.
Yeah, I listened to the president, and it almost seems as though the copy points on the paper he doesn't even believe. And I can always tell because he continues to repeat and says it's a true story. That's the way the president addresses a lot of these things. We've got Congressman Bost on with us again, also from that beautiful state with a very, very blue state government. Congressman Bost with us right now. What the national policies that are coming out of this president's administration a year later after the Inflation Reduction Act that did not, in fact, reduce inflation, at least not in my existence here in Southern Illinois. Congressman Bost, how important is it to call out these economic issues that we are experiencing here, even in blue state Southern Illinois, and push back on them?
Here's why it's so important. One is because the president can keep saying, oh, no, we're fine, even though the other day, if you'll notice, he said maybe we mistitled the bill. But that being said, the average person is spending, family is spending $709 more per year than what they were 2 years ago. Now, if you have a large income, that might not be a big deal. But I'm going to tell you, the people that I go to buy and see in the grocery store or standing at the gas pump or anywhere else, and they're trying to pay these bills. They're sending their kids back to school right now, trying to figure out how they're going to make ends meet.
they're doing 2 jobs and they're wondering how in the world they're going to take a 3rd job to try to cover.
Yeah.
You know, that is what we have to express as members of Congress and as the American people to this administration, that it's not right. Now, we have ideas. We've had plans. The Speaker was talking about that there are things that we have pushed forward on, but this administration just keeps acting like an ostrich with their head in the sand.
Yeah, and the Americans feel it, and they don't need anyone to explain it to them. They know when they go to the pump or the grocery store what the existence is. It feels unfair. Speaker McCarthy, in the list of things right now that feel unfair to Americans, right now, I'm a conservative myself. I'm a mom, and I am looking right now at our government, and I'm looking at how it feels as though if I come out as a Republican or a conservative, that I might not be subjected to the same kind of justice as maybe somebody who happens to be on the other side of the aisle. The House majority has really, really stepped up in this way to do investigations with oversight. Speaker McCarthy, how could you be even more successful with a larger majority should you be able to get it in 2024?
Well, thank you. And first, I'm just so grateful for having the conservative Mike Bost fighting alongside of me in all this. I mean, we're sitting with a 5-seat majority, so it's very difficult. And any time someone's sick, somebody's out. But think about what we've been able to uncover so far. The 2 justices has now gotten. We've gone after the FBI that went after parents. We've got to show that was a lie going to the school board meeting. We've watched and stopped the FBI from going into Catholic masses because they wanted to investigate Catholics, thinking something's wrong with that religion. If we don't stand up to them, then think about what's happening in social media. We just got new papers from Facebook that's showing government under the Biden administration telling them what to take off the internet and who, because they have different beliefs. But look how far government has come. It is not right that boys participate in women's sports. Everybody knows that is wrong. Are going into these schools. We've got to stand up, and I need to have a bigger majority to be able to accomplish that. But we're getting some wins, even with the slim majority, because of people like Mike Bost. Look, there's no stronger fighter. We've watched it from day one, and he learned it in the state legislature. And I'm just so grateful for his conservative beliefs and willing to fight for them.
Speaker McCarthy, one more question for you, and then one more for Congressman Bost, if we have the time here. I think that a lot of Americans right now are looking at the House with that very slim majority you have as maybe the only voice that represents 50% of this country that comes from the right side of the aisle. And with all of the persecution that's happening politically, the indictments against Donald Trump, the only entity that seems to be at all interested in it getting to the bottom, the truth of what is taking place in the Biden family while the president was then the vice president, is the House's ability to investigate. Are you and is this House, this Republican majority, committed to seeing this thing all the way through to the end?
100%. You've got to remember this. America and the world would know nothing of this if it wasn't for the House. Remember what then candidate Biden told us, that he had no dealings with the business, that his family got no money from China. We have now proven not only did he call in, when he went to dinner, $3.5 million was wired. His son got a Porsche, that China supplied him more than $1 million, that they created literally 20 shell companies while he was vice president. Got 16 of 17 payments from Romania during that time. And this is just the beginning. And they have fought. I've never seen another administration since the Nixon administration utilize their power against us to withhold information. But I make the commitment to you, just like I made to the Constitution. We will follow this wherever this takes us. The American public has a right to know, and we'll provide them the information.
Well, we are counting on that, Speaker McCarthy. I appreciate that commitment. Last question before we have to let you go. We're speaking with Speaker Kevin McCarthy, as well as Congressman Mike Bost of Illinois' 12th District. We were listening to Speaker McCarthy kind of correlate California and Illinois. And Congressman Bost, you and I have talked at many events together where we have to push through this very blue state because it doesn't reflect many of the people, especially in southern Illinois. How do you pair those two together, the common sense conservatism of southern Illinois with the overwrought Democrat legislature and governor that want to push us as far to the left as possible?
we have to make sure, Annie, I'm glad you asked that, because we have to make sure. Remember my years in the state legislature, just like the speaker worked, just like the speaker got to build his majority, even a slight majority, so that the brake can be put on. The people of the state of Illinois need to understand that elections have their consequences. We have seen over the last 25 years what's happened to the state of Illinois under total Democrat rule. And that's what we've got to stop. We've got to know that every time you go out and talk to somebody and understand this situation, that you're working to find not only a candidate, but the best quality candidates that have the passion they need to fight to bring the state of Illinois back in line. And the same thing when we're looking for those people who will run in those districts that we can pick up in Illinois for Congress. I hope is that there's several seats in Illinois that we'll be able to pick up, but we can only do it with those people who have that same passion.
Well, Congressman Bost, you've been a great representative for Southern Illinois Common Sense. And Speaker Kevin McCarthy, thank you for spending some time in blue state Illinois, because as a conservative in the Southern Illinois area myself, it feels very forgotten from time to time. And I'm sure coming from California, you understand how that goes.
Well, thank you. And thank you for sending Mike Bost, the conservative fighter, for all of us. I appreciate it greatly.
All right. Gentlemen, thank you so much for your time
Annie,
today.
thank you.
We'll talk to you
Thank you.
again.
Have a great day, Annie.
Yep, you as well. Both of you as well. That was the Speaker of the House, Kevin McCarthy, and Congressman Mike Bost of Illinois' 12th District. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to get to, Annie, are you okay with Tricia Siekman? Try to follow that up. I'm pretty sure she'll just be fine and wonderful, and we can't wait to welcome her in a really
She'll probably be nervous
in a
little
really
bit,
special way. And we're going to get your feedback of that conversation that we just had with the Speaker of the House at about 2:40. So stick around, leave your comments on the Annie Frey YouTube channel. I'll feature them in about 20 minutes. Don't go away.
Well, she was an American girl.
You're listening to The Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
When you're shopping and you're trying to save money in any which way you can, you're going to look for opportunities to repeat that savings, aren't you? Ruler Foods is the place to go to do that. And when I shop at Ruler Foods, when my husband goes to pick up groceries at Ruler Foods, we save every single time. Really, at this point in time, can't afford not to. Ruler Foods has great savings on all of the products that you're going to purchase on a regular basis, name brand foods, and they also carry Kroger brands, but at Ruler Foods prices. You can rely on the quality of what you're shopping at Ruler Foods, and my family sure does try to do that. 10 for $10 sales event going on right now. Hunt's pasta sauce or Kroger pasta, great ways to make easy meals for your family, for yourself. 10 for 10. Pasta sauce and Kroger pasta, that's $2. You're going to be able to make a meal out of that. That's fantastic. Armor lunch makers, 10 for 10. Kroger microwavable pizzas, 10 for 10. Kroger pudding cups, I'm looking at you, Ryan Wiggins, 10 for 10. When you're shopping and you're looking to save, you want to shop Ruler Foods. Find the Ruler Foods closest to you by going to rulerfoods.com.
You had a solid retirement dream. Sell your home in a few years, bank the equity, downsize, and travel. But inflation and recession has you wondering if all your hard-earned equity will still be there. What if you could recession-proof your equity right now? You can with TrueHold. TrueHold will buy your home for its best current value before a recession can erode it. You get to bank all the cash now and live in your home for as long as you want. And TrueHold covers all property taxes, insurance, repairs, and maintenance. And since TrueHold pays your home's current value in cash now, it's yours to do whatever you'd like. Don't wait for inflation, recession, and interest rates to erode your home's value. Visit TrueHold.com and discover how much TrueHold will buy your home for today, based on its best current value, not what's coming. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out on your home's value without having to move. That's TrueHold.com.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Save up to 20% on a new HVAC system when you bundle it with attic insulation. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey.com is a universe of audio, and it's where you can download the app to stream 97.1 FM Talk. The Odyssey app. Download it today and stream anytime from anywhere.
Where St. Louis comes to talk.
97.1 FM Talk. The Annie Frey Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I know it's been a couple years since I've reached out and said hello. I bet you're wondering why I keep obsessing on and stressing all the little things when I should be living life and soaking up the memories. I know I've been selfish, I have no excuse to give you it's true. Hanging by a thread's how I live. I don't know why, but I feel more comfortable.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Excited to be with you today. We had quite a show lined up for you. Hans Von Spakovsky at 12:25, Tyrus at 1:05. We just got off the phone with Congressman Mike Bost and Speaker Kevin McCarthy. And it was a 10-minute interview. That's how much time they had for us. We're grateful for it. But interesting to hear them, especially Speaker McCarthy, fully commit to seeing the Biden situation through. We cannot afford for them to be soft on this. And it really is true. If it weren't for the House Oversight Committee and the House investigations, am I wrong to say there would be nothing on this?
It would be internet conjecture. It would be what it was for 2 years under Biden with a Democrat House, which is not giving actual news an excuse to cover it, which they wouldn't. They would just avoid it. I mean, they mostly have anyway, but they've had to cover it a little bit.
Yeah. Very cool to talk to them. Grateful for it. And now it's definitely time for Trisha.
And now it's time to play.
Our esteemed Speaker of the Station, Trisha Everding. Asking the question, Annie, are you okay?
Yay, Trisha!
I can't hear if there's more going on in the background.
Yeah, we just gave you an introduction.
Oh, wonderful. Well, thank you. I know that I am rounding out a star-studded lineup, so...
Yeah, let's do Annie, are you okay? Let's go for it. Fire it off.
What did I miss?
And now it's time to play. Is Annie okay with this?
C minus.
I don't know. That seems generous. Trisha, I didn't even hear it.
I know.
She's not wearing her headphones.
I can't hear anything.
She's like, oh, that was funny,
wish
you
I had
guys. It's one of those old keychains.
Yeah, hopefully the speaker's not still listening. Anywho, go on.
All right. Utah woman brings infant triplets to jury duty. A Utah mom says she was...
If you wanted to get out of jury duty...
Well, that's the interesting part. She did not because of this.
Oh.
So she says she was not excused from jury duty despite the fact that she couldn't find a babysitter and brought her 4 children, a 4-year-old toddler, and 3 infant triplets to the courtroom. She tried her best to keep her kids quiet with snacks, but the triplets eventually started screaming.
How old are they?
Infant.
Oh, my Lord.
And a 4-year-old.
How do you put a mother of 3 infant triplets, which they'd all be infants, if one of them was. How can you be so rude as to be like, you know what you should do? Jury duty.
Yeah.
Shouldn't that be a complete and total get out of jury free card? Someone answer your phone.
Yeah,
Is it mine?
I
It's
do
mine.
believe it should. Just for the sake of the people in the courtroom. You know, I don't know how you do a trial.
Yeah,
they
were in there for hours before being dismissed. But the question is, are you okay with this woman having to stay in the courtroom once the situation was unfolding?
No, it's an entire disaster.
Right.
You don't. No. You say, hi, I have 3 infant triplets, and no. And they go, whoa, okay. And that's the end of it.
Should have been.
Am I wrong? Does she have a civic duty?
No,
that supersedes her
She doesn't have civic
children?
duty. No, that once she had baby number 2, maybe even baby number 1, that civic duty was delayed. After number 3, she actually could sue them.
Hey, would you do me a favor?
Yeah, go ahead.
Will you give Trisha your headphones?
Yeah. Here,
Okay,
Tricia.
I want to do this again since she's not wearing headphones. Because we worked on this.
You're welcome. I have psoriasis. So.
Oh, gross.
we both do.
Well, the problem is that my pot's not turned up.
This is great.
Let me know.
This is great.
Oh.
We just had the speaker on.
Hey, Brad. Thumbs up. All right, here we go.
And now we introduce our esteemed Speaker of the Station, Trisha Everding.
There you go.
Asking a question. Annie, are you okay?
All right, turn it down. And then
Can
turn
that
it back
be
up.
my new intro?
Heck
Just
yeah.
Forever?
I mean, like, put it on your phone when you walk in
That's
the room.
amazing.
See, you needed to hear that.
Yeah.
You can give him his headphones back.
Okay.
You don't need to hear the rest of the show.
I've already got whatever.
In fact,
it is
I'm going
that
to
we're
take my
on.
headphones on and off, and maybe I won't hear the
You have
rest of the show
psoriasis
either.
and I have gangrene.
Oh gosh, gross. Are you okay with that?
No. With the intro, yes. With the psoriasis and gangrene, no.
Yeah. All right. Next. We are professionals.
Gen Z is
Clearly.
stressed about food.
Gen Z is stressed about everything.
Oh, Gen
Word.
Z.
And when we were that age, we were stressed about everything. It's not really a Gen Z thing.
This one, they've
I
decided
wasn't stressed about food at that age. I still am not.
they're stressed about food because of the politics of it.
Ah.
A Ketchum's food study finds that 63% of Gen Zers feel pressure to change the world and are more likely to believe their food choices need to signal their health, values, and political beliefs.
Have you seen the reports that you can see that it's like a thing now to seek counseling for your climate anxiety?
No.
What are we doing to our children?
What? We're giving them trust funds, apparently, because how in the world can these kids afford counseling for climate anxiety?
Well, they probably don't have to pay for it.
That's what I mean.
Well-
Like the rich parents.
No, I mean like anybody.
They can't afford to eat their values either. So the study found that an overwhelming majority of this group think that sustainability, animal welfare, and LGBTQ rights are important factors when buying food.
What?
But they're conflicted by things like taste, value, and affordability.
What foods do I need to eat or not eat for LGBTQ values?
I don't know, but apparently they're expensive.
Skittles?
No, you can't eat Skittles.
You can't eat M&Ms.
Did they make their transgender statement Skittles? Are all those Skittles white?
I think that for a time they were white.
It's like it could be misconstrued as white pride.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, I think so.
Whoops.
Woops. Can't eat this
I'm
hamburger.
not for that. I'm opposed to it.
This
I will not eat
hamburger
those
is
Skittles.
straight.
I will only taste the rainbow.
I can't. I can't eat this ketchup. It's red.
I don't even know why, but that just sounded terrible.
And
I
are
regret
you
it.
okay with mixing food and politics?
You taste that rainbow?
It was sweet.
Come on, girl.
Oh, gosh. No, stop mixing politics with everything. It's exhausting. You can't keep up with it. And then you're a stressed out Gen Zer. And you should just be stressing out about whether or not you're going to land the Taylor Swift tickets. Enjoy that part of your life while you can.
For the record, I'm okay with that.
Sure.
Is there anything you eat or don't eat? Anything you consume or don't consume because of politics?
I
I
don't think so.
I've walked away very sadly, coming back from the Clay County Lincoln Day dinner that I spoke at a truck stop. I think it was a Love's truck stop. And I was like, I'm just going to eat the Ben & Jerry's ice cream.
Oh,
I
I
just
see
want
what
the
you
Ben
mean.
& Jerry's ice cream. I want it. And then I looked and frickin' Stephen Colbert's face was staring at me. I'm like, I can't do it and I'm angry.
You know what?
I want ice cream.
I will mostly avoid using the ivory from a white rhino horn. But that's about it.
For your knife handle?
Yeah, for my knife handle.
To cut your, what is it, faux gras? Something like that? Is that something? Is that how I say that right?
Foie gras.
Foie gras? I'm not fancy.
Yeah. I take out my own hunting knife at the French restaurant.
Do you even need to cut that?
I don't know that I've ever actually had it, so I can't tell you.
I thought you were one of those people.
No. Let me see your knife. That's not a knife.
That's a comb.
I just wanted to say it.
All right, anyway. Next. Just soldier through.
I'm going to keep going. Missouri court rules that parents can be jailed if kids miss too much school. The Missouri Supreme Court has upheld a state law that can send parents to jail if their child misses too much school. The law had been challenged by two mothers who were charged after their children each missed 15 days. One was actually sentenced to jail. The other received probation.
So this is truancy.
Mm-hmm. The question is, are you okay with parents facing consequences, even jail time, for their children missing school?
Well, I guess we need to know why they missed school, where the kids were, and what the circumstances were. Are there any details?
The details that were provided were both of the women that were involved in this lawsuit. Again, one went to jail, the other one probation. They said that the kids were sick, and they most of the time provided reasons why they weren't there. And the school district said that the parents knowingly failed to.
You have to have your kids in school. I don't know. How do people say, well, this is the same thing as this is government intrusion in parent-child relationship? Being in school? I don't know. You got to be in school.
Yeah, I've never seen a situation where a kid misses that much school and it's like, it was for really good reasons. I mean, maybe there are some. I just remember in third grade, there was a kid that we had a contest, not we had a contest, but this teacher even sponsored a contest.
This is going to be a great story.
That if Joe showed up for 2 weeks straight and didn't miss any days,
the teacher said
and
this?
Wore shoes.
That's terrible.
Yeah,
this is not a funny
this is the
story.
80s. And if he did all those things, that we would have a pizza party at the end of the 2 weeks.
That's horrible. I wonder why that kid didn't come to school.
Well, they were trying to encourage him to come to school, I think, but
By
also
bullying.
kind of.
That's terrible.
And I don't know that he did. He just missed a ton of school. And
Why
I
was he
remember feeling
missing school?
so sorry for that kid.
Why was he missing school?
I don't know. As a third grader, I didn't quite grasp what his situation was, but I knew it was bad.
Maybe he had loser parents, or maybe they couldn't afford to get their child to school. Maybe he didn't have shoes that fit his feet that he could wear.
His home life was a mess. And that's kind of what I'm drawing from when I say most of the time when a kid's missing that much school,
there's more going on there.
There's usually not a good situation.
Which is why I do believe that in many cases the parents should be held accountable, because they are ultimately accountable. And in a lot of those situations, the parents are prioritizing their own, not needs, but wants over that of the children. So I do think that there is a definite interest. If you're going to publicly fund education, there is an interest in making sure that the children are attending school. That's always the questionable line, like when a government agency is going to step in and make some sort of ruling or decision or intervention. Because if parents are abusing their children, and in that case, I would make the argument, depending on the circumstances, that there could be an abuse going on by not getting their kids to school, that the parents should be held accountable for it. I think that's fine. I think it's good.
Chick-fil-A is adding a new chicken sandwich.
Yay!
Yay! I was tired of the original.
This is the first time they've ever added a variation to their original chicken sandwich. That's what makes this
it's not. They have a spicy.
They have a spicy, but they've never done what they're about to do.
What's the frequency of your Chick-fil-A patronage?
4.
Ryan? 4.
What's yours?
Say 5.
Can you answer the question? How often do you go?
Once a month, maybe.
Brad?
If that.
My biggest cravings for Chick-fil-A are on Sundays. It's a bizarre thing.
I agree
I'm
with
always
you.
like, we have time.
Yeah.
We should go. Oh.
Yeah, I was like, you know what?
And
Any day can be a Sabbath, Chick-fil-A. Why don't you do Mondays?
I'm always like, good for you.
I know. I know.
You ever pull up to a Chick-fil-A on a Sunday and think you got lucky because the drive-thru line's really short?
I think I've made that
I've done
mistake.
that a few times
Yeah,
before.
it's usually when I'm out of town. Now there's one near my hometown, and so I get to be by it more often, but a lot of times it'll be away at a tournament for the kids, and it's Sunday, and you're going home, and you're like, oh, there's a Chick-fil-A, let's do that. It's Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
New sandwich?
Yeah, it's going to be a honey pepper pimento cheese chicken sandwich.
That sounds like a lot.
I know. They're also introducing a caramel crunch milkshake. I know that this is part of a promotion to get us talking about it, but the question is, are you okay with the idea of a honey pepper pimento chicken sandwich?
Honey pepper and pimento cheese don't seem to go together. Pimento cheese is a southern thing.
That's like hot honey.
Have you ever had pimento cheese sandwich? Anybody? No?
Not just pimento cheese?
Yeah, pimento cheese sandwich.
No,
it's a thing that they do at the Masters.
Really excited about that.
Yeah, it's
Brian's
great.
spent so much time at the Masters.
Yeah, I've been to the Masters once, and they were like, "Oh, you got to have a pimento cheese sandwich."
I took a suggestion that you dress up like a Scottish golfer when we hit 6,000 subscribers at the Madison County Golf Scramble.
I probably would do that anyway.
Just
Let's
wear
come
your
up with something
outfit.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, go ahead. Masters.
Oh, pimento cheese sandwiches are really good. and they don't. You'd think at the Masters, where a shirt costs $150, that they'd charge you a lot for those sandwiches. They're like $3.
That's how you afford the shirts.
So that's exactly right. So you just go there and you cram a bunch of pimento cheese sandwiches, and you go home and you draw a shirt.
Have
on
you
your
ever been
current
to
shirt.
the Masters?
Yeah, just one time.
When?
2017.
The golf tournament?
Yeah, in Augusta. Yeah, no. the Masters up the street from me. This is their house.
Where they do the
It's John and Judy Masters.
It's an arcade. All right. Let's take a quick break. Thank you, Speaker of the Station, Tricia Siekman. We appreciate you being in here.
Thank you for having me, and thank you for the thoughtful intro.
A+. That was all Ryan
Great job,
Wiggins.
everybody.
Yay. High five.
We've done it.
When we come back, the results of today's YouTube live chat poll, which is the top issue that affects your 2024 vote? The economy, corruption, government overreach, or national defense concerns? Your comments and the results in a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Been this way so long, it feels like something's off when I'm not depressed. I got some issues that I won't address. I got some baggage I ain't open yet. I got some demons I should put to rest. I got some traumas that I can't forget. I got some phone calls I've been avoiding. Some family members I don't really connect with. Some things I said I wish I would've not let slip. Some hurtful words that never should've left my lips. Some bridges burned, I'm not ready to rebuild yet. Some insecurities I haven't dealt with, yes. I'll be the first to admit that I'm a lonely soul, and the last to admit I need a hand to hold. Losing hope, headed down a dangerous road. Strange, I know, but I feel most at home when I'm...
So Stewart's American Mortgage is there to help navigate this crazy housing market situation with you, which means when you go to put in an offer on a house, you want to make sure that you're the most competitive offer that is being submitted. You want to win the bid, don't you? When you partner with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage, you are going to be put in a position to be exactly that. Using a bagel loan with Stewie at Stewart's American Mortgage makes it so that you don't have to pay any of those closing costs. He doesn't tuck them away. He doesn't finance them over the course of the loan. Those closing costs don't exist. Stewie's going to help you with that. He is the second top lender in the country. He's been nationally recognized for his model of business and his ability to get the job done for you. So reach out to Stewie. You can call him. You can text him at 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. When Stewie was in the studio here with us recently, he was talking to me about people who are putting in loans, but they have contingencies. He's got a solution for that as well. I think he called it a recast loan, and he is there to help you walk through that process, give you all the details you need so you can be confident choosing Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440. Google the bagel loan, NMLS number 226715.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan, president of McKelvey Homes. Founded in 1898, McKelvey Homes is celebrating 125 years with our inventory home sale. Get $12,500 off of all our market homes. Move in quick. Lock in your interest rate and get all the popular features and colors selected by design professionals. And for every home sold, McKelvey Homes will donate $1,898 to Dravet Syndrome Foundation. Visit McKelveyhomes.com.
I was having a lot of sinus infections. My sinuses were clogged, pressure, headaches.
Linda suffered for years with chronic sinus infections.
You don't feel like doing anything. When you feel like your head is completely clogged, all you want to do is just lay down and sleep. And the pressure, it's just not fun, always walking around with a headache.
Now, her issues are gone. How? A minimally invasive procedure done in the office of St. Louis Sinus Centers called balloon sinuplasty.
I really did not know what it was like to feel like you're really breathing and not being so clogged up. I would do it again in a heartbeat, and I would definitely recommend it for someone else.
Do you suffer with chronic sinus infections, facial pain, pressure, congestion? Find out if balloon sinuplasty is the solution for you. Set an appointment today with St. Louis Sinus Centers. Call 314-332-2885. 314-332-2885. That's 314-332-2885.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
If you're hiring, it can feel like you're trying to find a needle in a haystack. You can hope the right person comes along, or you can just use ZipRecruiter. And now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. In fact, ZipRecruiter has helped a lot of business owners find their needle in a haystack, like Marco, president of operations at Telly Tires and Auto Centers. Because Telly Tires has grown a lot in the last few years, Marco needed to hire everyone from a receptionist to a store manager to a head mechanic.
ZipRecruiter helps me find all the right people, even the most difficult jobs to fill. ZipRecruiter helps me keep my business running.
Take it from Marco and millions of other businesses who've used ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter can help you find the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free. That's right, free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/RADIO. ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
I'm Jim Onder. Have questions after being injured in an accident? We'll match you with the Onder Law team that's right for you and your case.
Onder Law. Call 314 or 618-9000 to learn more.
You should definitely get the podcast today and hear Speaker Kevin McCarthy on at 2 o'clock, 2:05. And then, Are You Okay? You should listen to that too. The results of the YouTube live chat poll coming up in just a second, which is the top issue that affects your 2024 vote: the economy, corruption, government overreach, or national defense concerns. The time right now, 2:51. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Hey, believe it or not, it's the 2-year anniversary of our embarrassing withdrawal from Afghanistan. And while we're not going to celebrate that, we're going to talk about it Thursday afternoon.
Weekdays from 3 to 6 on 97.1 FM Talk. This is the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Frey Show.
On the Annie Frey Show YouTube page, Info Dude commented, just one short segment left of today's show.
Call him Misinfo Dude.
If you know, you know.
No, it's just one short segment before we get to 3 o'clock here. How do you want to handle this short segment?
Shortly. I went back and listened to it. Guys, here's the deal. Yesterday, I did a Ruler Foods 60-second endorsement, and I love Ruler Foods. You go to rulerfoods.com and find the one closest to you and go tell them Annie said hi. I need you to do this because I said shart. It was like the 5th word. I said 5 words in that sentence, and it was Ruler Foods and shart, and then like 2 other.
Yeah, 2 other words that nobody else heard.
It just fell out of my mouth.
The rest of us couldn't look her in the eye.
I went back and watched. I think I watched that whole thing 4 times yesterday because watching you two.
Oh my gosh.
Well, I decided I'm going to do this live.
Yeah.
And it's the most strength I've ever had to muster, and I've had 4 children.
I looked over just long enough to see, she's not stopping after saying shart.
No.
You whipped your head around,
Then I am going to
Lion.
turn and look the other direction for the rest of it because I can't handle it.
It is true what Brad said, that Ryan's neck was red. He was laughing so hard.
Can I tell you something really funny? I went to Ruler last night just because I go there a couple nights a week, like it was getting normal stuff.
Loving to save money.
And the two people in front of me, the lady says to the checker, she says, I just started coming here because I heard your ads on 97.1.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding.
Oh.
I'm not kidding.
Did you say hi, I'm Brad Ray?
And she was, I said, oh, that's great. And I mentioned all the sharding. No, I didn't. I didn't do any of that. So I waited until I got through the line, and then she was there putting her stuff in her bag. And I said, you know what? I hear the ads on 97.1 too myself. And she goes, oh, yeah, it's great, isn't it? I love their opinions.
Really?
And I was waiting for her because
to recognize
I figured she would know the show. She never knew Who? And it was me.
Did you ever tell her?
No, I did not.
So you were the creepiest person in college.
No, I was just commiserating with her.
She's listening right now, going, "Whoa!"
You never told her who you were?
No, I didn't. I don't want to be like, well, I've got news for you. Guess who's talking to you right now?
There are other ways you could say it.
No, that's the only way. And I don't want to do that because I'm humble as all get out. And so I didn't mention the sharding or anything. I was like, you know what? I'm going to just let this fly, just like Annie did yesterday on the air.
Shut up. The YouTube live chat poll, Pete says the top or most important issue is corruption, but the economy should be dealt with first when Trump begins his second term. He seems to be a strong Trump supporter. G-Wib says, I voted corruption, but it should be corruption ineptitude. Too many people in power are corrupt and inept. Jackie said, I selected government overreach as it plays into the economy, corruption and foreign relations. On that same note, corruption feeds the overreach, as other listeners mentioned. Jennifer says, last one here, never thought number one issue would be corruption, but it is. What is happening now and what has come out in the last 7 years is alarming, leads to so much more. Some issues we didn't even know existed. So many other people commented, and I'm sorry that we had to get to that stupid anecdote about me saying shart yesterday on the show, but very grateful that the listener that didn't know who you were was able to say hi. Let's get to the YouTube live chat poll results for today. We have 250 votes on the Annie Frey YouTube live poll, which is the top issue that affects your 2024 vote. 20% government overreach, 20% national defense concerns, 27% corruption, and 34% economy.
Wow.
That's a close one.
Yeah, it is. And surprisingly, economy won. I didn't think it would.
Yeah, that is surprising. Thank you for participating. We invite you to join us each day. We try to read those comments throughout the show and always feature your thoughts and results and your actions at the end of the show like we did right now. Don't go anywhere. The Mark Reardon Show on 97.1 FM Talk when we return.
It's the greatest pop rock of the 60s and 70s. The Happy Together Tour 2023. This Saturday night at the Family Arena. Starring the Turtles, Little Anthony, Gary Puckett and the Union Gang, the Vogues, the Classics 4, and the Cowsills. Tickets are on sale now at the Carroll House box office located at the Family Arena or Ticketmaster.
One of Canada's finest exports. Here comes April Wine. Live. Saturday, September 16th at the Family Arena. Special guest, Aldo Nova. And Honeymoon Suite. Research and tickets are on sale now at the Carroll House Furniture box office located at the Family Arena or through Ticketmaster.
Michael's Flooring Outlet is online at igotfloored.com. You go to the website right now, which I'm going to punch in while I'm talking to you, and you can check out the different products that they have available for your purchase. If you're looking to refinish that bedroom in your home and you've got carpet, it's the carpet that came with the house when you bought it, you wanted to replace it, and you're trying to go between, do I get the Mohawk Smart Strand carpeting and keep it nice and warm and cozy in the house, or maybe I put in some Techwood flooring and get a hardwood look and put down an area rug. You go to Michael's Flooring Outlet or igotfloored.com and you can shop their carpet tile, their hardwood laminate, their luxury vinyl and waterproof flooring to meet your needs. When you go into Michael's Flooring Outlet, they're going to respect you to be your own entity. They're going to listen to what you want and what you're trying to achieve, the look you're trying to get, and they're going to provide and match that with great customer service, quality, and value. A great sponsor of 97.1 and the Annie Frey Show, the family-owned and operated business, Michael's Flooring Outlet, online at igotfloored.com.
Mark Cox here. Before you sell your home, you should know what it's worth in today's